check. Let's check. Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting nippy up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
Hell yeah. Very, very nice. That's the first time I've heard that intro. Who did that? Who's that, JPZ?
Yeah, man. That guy,
Hell yeah. Love it. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, everyone. This is the Loshak in the Bag Show. For all the newbies out there, he's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We do this every Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, July 5th. Jimmy the Bag, I'd like to open the show. You remember last show we got a great comment from a guy who said that he doesn't have Tom Cruise or Michael Jordan on his wall. He has a poster of you and me. I said I was going to make a poster of that and put it on my wall, and there it is, but you can't see it. But it's there. That's what it is. Shout out to that guy, and it is on my wall, even though you can't see it with the quote underneath it. Jimmy, yeah, there you go. There you go. You can't read it, though. But that's what it is. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. Jose Bouquet, we got him on the ones and twos. It should be a good show today. Jimmy the Bag, last week I was doing that goofy college kid get up for luck, and I was going to wear it every week until I had a losing week. And last week technically was a losing week, but as I predicted ominously in the show, it was only because of that fucking WNBA game. I was down by like 0.3 of a unit last week because of the WNBA game, which I doubled up on, which I shouldn't have did that, but I did it. And so, but that's okay. I'm secretly a little bit relieved because it was wearing a little bit thin on me, that look. Now I got this shit. I don't know. I'm trying to look good. Trying to look a little professional here, and hopefully we'll have a winning day. I have been a bit snake bit in betting in general and in baseball these past few days. I bet Alex Manoah yesterday. You caught that, Jimmy the Bag, at the big line. I was like, I'm snake bit, but I can't not pull the trigger on it. I pulled the trigger on it. It lost. The snake bit continued, but that's okay because I'm bet sizing appropriately. So when variance hits, when the down sections come, when the snake bit episodes happen, everything's cool. Everything's cool. It's no problem because now if I weren't bet sizing appropriately, it'd be very different. As you can tell, I'm still in a good mood. I think we're going to have a winning day today on today's card. I've prepared for both WNBA games. So I don't know which one Teece is going to talk about. I'm prepared for both and think I have a play on both of them. More so on the Connecticut Sun game. Jimmy the Bag, I should just fucking tail. Yeah, the other thing you can do is if you bet size inappropriately is then just cheat a little bit and just tail all of Jimmy the Bag's CFL plays that he posts on Twitter. How's CFL going for you, Jimmy the Bag?
I lost the back-to-back unders on Saturday and on Monday, so I'm 11-5. 11-5 on season. I did think I was going to cash the under last night all game long. So that was frustrating not to cash it. It was a wild game. Argos missed an extra point to give the Bombers the win. It was disappointing. After hitting the Ticats first quarter and first half and being 11-3, it was disappointing to be 11-5 right now. But what was more disappointing was I got killed on Friday here, and I was just overconfident. I was just not, I was just making bets. It didn't matter if they correlated the way it has been. I got up to 11.87 units up on the season. I got overconfident and I got slapped in the mouth. And maybe I needed that. But there's a lot of uncomfort with the Blue Jays up here. And after having that tough Friday, I was not going to even with Manoah on the mound, I was not going to touch the Jays after this long travel. And I do think that the death of the Budzinski, the first base coach, the death of his daughter was tough on the whole team. They love this guy and they love him, and he's been loved in baseball circles for 25 years, and the way his eldest daughter died, I think it just I can't get it out of my head. It's been 3 days, 4 days. It's just a horrific accident. The mom is in the boat. I didn't even want to get into it, but god damn. So it was just and this has been like this happy-go-lucky ball club, and now they're not winning. And on social media, these fucking Jays fans out here are just giving them shit, especially the older generation, about how they're having too much fun, they're not taking things seriously, and all this bullshit. So I was a little nervous about seeing the Jays open up minus 210. I could have got in on minus 230. They get up to minus 260, and it's a long travel day. I'm afraid to back them here. I mean, it's much easier to be afraid with Kikuchi on the mound. But I'm very excited to be starting a new week here with you, Pete. You've been running real nice in MLB, coming off a 3-in-1 day, plus 1.87 units yourself. We got Ron Crawford in the house. Says, I need a birthday pick from the legend Ron Crawford. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy belated, Ron. I hope it was magic for you, my man. You deserve it. And he's given us his spreadsheet play today. That is the Miami Marlins. I've moved on. There's Jay Peasy in the chat. Jay Peasy has inspired us. And we are going to create real intros for both Loshak in the bag and Benny with the bag with his background. When he puts in that work, it inspires us to also work and make something out of it. So very, very thankful to Jay Peasy, our guy who hooked us up with that dope opening. Williams Wrestling in the house. We got AJ ready to get to work. AJ says, hope you had a good weekend. Let's get back to bleeding the books. We got D Jenkins says, got torched by the bookies yesterday in MLB because of the Jays. Yeah. It was seeing Manoah go down. If they slip up here, which is very possible on this Western road trip, they'll be out of the playoff picture here. No, not far out of it, but they'll be out of it. We're nervous out here. Serious business in the house. We have BLab69. I know you'll love to hear this, Pete. We talk about the spots on Sports Insights that give full line value to a certain. He's been tracking them. He tracked them all month. He tracked the line, the ROI, the units, just to help for the greater good of the team. That's BLab69 here in the chat. So that's great. So now we have. When we give out the Sports Insights gives full value to something, we have the actual backup to say.
Okay, well, don't hold out on me. How's it been doing this past month?
Well, very good. It was very good. I believe as of like Thursday, they were 14-10 with plus over 4 units, right? Because there's been a lot of dog lines, and with an ROI of I think it was just under 20% offhand, but we'll go over it. But yeah, so that was great. I love that BLab69 went ahead and did that. BLab69 doing that. You have JP doing. You have everybody working together here. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Johnny Gonzalez says, Pete looking like he's going to a winter formal.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little bit old to be doing those kinds of things, but wherever they'll let me in the door, I'm going to go, and I'm going to dress appropriately, as nice as I can. Jimmy the Bag, what happened to Jimmy Gomez, the guy I gave a losing birthday pick to a couple weeks ago? Is he is he gone for good, or is he forgiven me for that birthday pick?
Oh, he's the truth, man. He's such a great guy. He's such a guy. He's great capper, great family man. Like he understands the game, man. He's been in the game for a long time. He understands that you win and you lose, and you don't worry about Jimmy Gomez. But there'll always be time to make it up to him. There'll always be time. Dominic Mero says a little more than a week until opening day at Saratoga. We will be live all day for opening day Saratoga. I'll make sure that Betting with the Bag ends at about 12:40, 12:45, because we'll switch right over to opening day Saratoga, and we'll be hammering horses at least until the end of the Woodbine card. So from about 1 o'clock till about 8:36 p.m. Peel-on artist in the house, Danny Lopez, Ronnie and Bergie, and Nasty Nate, Jefferson C. What a great, great group. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Michael Ervalina. Nasty Nate says that look needs a newer hat. He says you look poor, Rich.
Hell yeah. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Shout out to Nasty Nate, who gave both the, of course, Peter has skulls around his apartment joke and the Batty Ant sunglasses joke. Nasty Nate, shout out to you. 2 major big-time jokes in my memory, and I'm sure there have been many more. Huge shout out to Nasty Nate.
He's really funny. He's a funny dude. Slatsy in the house. We got Puzzler ready to get to work. Fireside says, get your UFC card on Saturday. And he says, no way we're going 10-1-1 this week. By the way, they all destroyed it. They all absolutely destroyed UFC. I only tailed the one spot that Boston Nick gave out to us, the Volkanovski Izzy parlay. I got that at minus 127, and I bet more than a unit on it, so I was thankful for.
Oh, you're talking about who did you tail? You tailed
Boston Nick, Mr. Fat Fist.
Okay. Because I did actually tail Clint with the what was the guy's name? I can't even remember the guy's name. Minus 150 guy. What the hell was that guy's name? Don't even know who the hell he is, but I can't remember his. But I tailed it because I saw it on Twitter. Shout out to Die Hard MMA podcast. What the hell was that guy's name? I'll find it right now.
I just know the Adesanya Volkanovski. Those are the only two fights I watched of that. And shout out to Boston Nick for hooking me up. Jay Peasy in business. He's got the Jays, A's over 8 and Marlins money line. I took the Marlins.
Jalen Turner. That's who I tailed. That's right.
All right, let me pop this here.
That's right. Everyone knows that Jalen Turner. I tailed the hell out of that one for sure. I capped the capper on that one. Shout out to Die Hard MMA podcast.
Sammy Comer says, do you think Montoya is the guy? I'm not a fan of the decision making, but I just don't know enough really about what's going on in the clubhouse. What's he like with the players? I just don't know enough. I don't like his decision making. I don't really trust his decision making, but I feel like I just don't know enough about what's really going on to give a legitimate answer. Nat says Red Sox first 5 full game easy money yesterday. There it is, B Labs. So they last month plus a Thursday winner, but and that Thursday was what, July 1st? Or no, that was Friday, July 1st. So 13-10 plus 4.11 units with a 15.77 ROI.
Okay, very nice.
Ready to go. Puzzler says you look a bit like Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick.
I was just going to say, Nasty Nate is a hilarious dude, but as of right now, as we sit here at 11:14 Eastern Time a.m., the joke of the show leader is Puzzler. For Pete looks a little bit like Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick here. Shout out to your Puzzler, and of course he meant it as a compliment, which absolutely it is.
I love Puzzler. A great guy. Real video ready to go. Okay, we got a lot of work to do. Oh, Friday winner, B-Lab says. Okay, so it's already started off the month with the winner. I feel you.
Mama don't like, daddy don't bat. They're all just a little crazy. Shout out to you, Puzzler. All right, let's get this done, Jimmy the Bag. Some winners here.
Vader says, great work, Jim. You know, Vader, that was my first MMA bet of 2022. The first time I pulled the trigger on anything, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed our show here at Pub Sports Radio that the guys put on. It was great, the live betting show. Okay, we got to get to work. Ron Crawford, by the way, the spreadsheet is on a 10-1-1 run, Pete. Spreadsheet play today. A 10-1-1 run, and he's moved on the Marlins. Well, Pete, without further ado, I say that we get to work. You didn't get off to a good start here on the show because it's tough. You're going 1 day a week in MLB, but you caught completely up. So now, after the tough start, you are 40 wins and 32 losses, 55.5%, down 0.43 units ROI, 0.60%. You are right there. You've caught right back up. So excellent work there. I took it right in the old prison pocket, right in the old bottom mouth on Friday. Got cocky, and it cost me. And I've got to go right back to what was working. It was an awful day for me on Friday at 4 wins and 9 losses, Pete, down 6.57 units. So yeah, I had hit my high water mark. We're still fine, 165 and 145, 53.2% plus 5.3 units ROI plus 1.71% average line minus 109, but not where I would like to be. All right, let's get to work. And we have an exciting game right off the hop. Pete. Let's go. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 40 and 42, 20 and 22 on the road at San Diego Padres 47 and 35, 21 and 17 at home, Petco Park in San Diego, California. My first instinct was to move on the first 5 under, but the full game total went from 7 to 7.5 a couple hours ago, which made me understand that I don't need to force anything here and can talk it out with you guys. Let's start with the weather in San Diego. 73 Fahrenheit, 9.4 miles per hour left to right. It stays left to right throughout the game, and it's warmer than usual in San Diego. Let's move over to the line history. The line history in this spot opens with no movement at all. Padres open up at minus 130. That's where they stand right now. And from a totals perspective, as I said, opened up at 7. And then moved to 7.5 at 9:32 a.m. Eastern. let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot here quickly on Sports Insights. And we'll see if there is any spots where there is full line value here with a live odds and MLB. Here we go. So in this one, the 5,346 tickets in. There is no spot on the board that they're even giving half value to. So there's a heads up there. 68% of the tickets are on the Padres, 78% of the cash. And then 45% of tickets are on the over and 72% of cash on the over. So I'm happy I didn't just move on my own. There's Hunter Engelhart in the house. He will be back in action with us on Thursday, which I'm excited about. And Andrew G talking about the situation with the first base coach, Budzinski. Yeah, it was a very sad situation. But let's focus here on the Mariners Padres. Logan Gilbert going up against Mike Clevenger. Clevenger had his longest start, his best start of the year. Last out, 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned run, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-0 win at Arizona. He's got a 2.79 ERA, 1.10 whip through 29 innings. He's looked good. Logan Gilbert's had a great season. 9-3, 2.66 ERA, 1.12 whip, 92 Ks, 94 2/3. He's coming off a tougher start at home versus the A's. 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, and 1 walk. It was an 8-6 win at home over the A's, and that was part of the problem with what happened Friday. And it started earlier than Friday was because, the market went against Logan Gilbert. And it was confusing because the A's had to fly from New York to Seattle, and the market went against it. And I was like, how is this possible? And I still bet first 5 -1 and full game -1, and both cashed. But they did play a little sloppy. Mariners are rating 235, 697 OPS versus righties, and Padres rating 238, 683 OPS versus righties. Neither team hits righties hard. Both bullpens are pitching well. You gave us a heads up on the Padres bullpen early, and that was being very helpful for me. I've cashed some full games that I wouldn't have bet before that. And the Mariners bullpen is starting to pitch very well. 3.79 ERA, 1.12 whip on the year. Converted 17 of 24 saves.
Can I amend that comment for a second, Jim?
Absolutely.
Started to pitch well. I would say number one in the majors last 30 days or so by a bit of a margin.
Wow.
Yeah. Bullpen lights out.
Lights out.
No, not lights out, but tops in the majors and by a bit of a margin last month or so.
Slatsy says Mariners, Padres 7-0 last 7 to the over, last 5 in San Diego 5-0 last 5 to the over. Eddie Euler leaning the first 5 under 4, full game under 7.5. Eddie Euler, that was my initial feeling, but market not following that. But great news for all of you on Venezuelan Independence Day. Right now, Tuesday, July 5th, we have the star of Say Hey plays of the day, and his play of the day, Pete, comes on this very first game.
Really?
So without further ado, celebrating his nation's independence. I don't know if you know this, Pete, but they were the first country to gain independence in South America, and he is here to rock with us right now. Please welcome to the show, star of Say Hey plays of the day, Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you? And happy Independence Day, my friend.
Hola, todos, ¿cómo están? Pete? ¿Cómo estás, Pete?
Oh, hell yeah. Venezuela, they were like, you know what? Fuck these gringos. Fucking kick them the fuck out. And you know what? They did it.
Yo creo que eso es la tema de este show. Fuck los gringos. Y vamos a hacer
Chile, my...
español. No, dale, Pete. Dale. ¿Qué, Pete?
See?
It is great to see you, Jose. Wonderful to see you, and it's wonderful to have you here for the Mariners Padres spot. I don't know if you can get your volume a little louder, but I'd like to hear you even louder if you can. Take it away here for the Say Hey play of the day, Mariners Padres.
Well, vamos a hacer esto en español otra vez. En español no me sirve para nada, pero no, vamos a hacer esto. Yo creo que esto es una Logan Gilbert spot, ladies and gentlemen. Yo voy a hacer un poquito de Spanglish aquí, pero bear with me here. Pete, yo sé que te ves como Mike Clevenger. Yo creo que tú y Clevenger, creo que van a ser amigos cuando te conocen y todo eso, pero hoy eso es no el día para él, you know. No, voy a tomar los Mariners first 5 money line here. Y by the way, no hay muchos temas en español del gambling. No, nosotros no gamblamos mucho. Es una cosa que no creo que los viejos le gustan pedir la dinero. ¿Sabes, Jimmy?
Yeah, Mariners first 5 money line for Jose Bouquet, backing Logan Gilbert here on the road in Petco Park, San Diego.
We just lost
California.
about 15 viewers, but that's cool. No problem. Ratings don't really matter.
No tienen el SAP button. No tienen el SAP button. Los closed caption no sirven hoy. Yo puedo hablar de todo aquí. No van a saber qué voy a estar diciendo, pero vamos a hacer esto y vamos a ver cómo lo va. Si le gusta, maybe más español. Who knows?
I feel you, bro. This reminds me of when we lived in Costa Rica at the radio. It'd be like, when I get Britney Spears, when I get Metallica, when I get Depeche Mode, when I get
no puedo hacer esto. La lengua no me sirve para eso, Jimmy. So,
sí. When I get Justin Bieber, when I get
well, we've messed with Bieber's face, so I don't think we'll see him for a little while, thankfully.
Yeah.
Mariners Padres, though, we have Jose Bouquet say, hey, play the day on the Mariners first 5 money line, of which I will line shop. Pete, he's backing Logan Gilbert here. What is your plan?
Okay, so just to be a little bit serious again, because this is a betting show, I think I hinted at it a while ago, Jimmy the Bag. I was vaguely looking for Seattle to be a bet-on team at some point in the year, and that is one of the teams that I have done well with recently. I was snake bit yesterday, but I did have them yesterday. First 5, first 3. Here, though, this is just a tough one. I mean, San Diego is similar to a bunch of other teams in baseball right now. San Francisco and a few others, just kind of sluggish a little bit, playing far below their potential and what they were expected to do. Teams like that are tough because you never know exactly when they're going to bounce back. So here, off of the loss with Clevenger starting, who's a guy that I'm vaguely high on, I guess it makes me a little bit nervous. I was looking at this one thinking maybe about like no run first inning, but I definitely haven't bet it yet. Maybe by first pitch I'll have a bet, but in general, I continue to be high on Seattle, not necessarily in this spot though. And Clevenger, until further notice, for 3 or 4 innings, I would also expect to be a high on until further notice going forward. So this is a tough one. And again, Gilbert, in general, pretty good. Usually gives up a few though, but this might be an easier assignment. So I was thinking maybe no run first inning, maybe. And again, Seattle's bullpen is the real deal right now. And until further notice, I would assume that to continue.
Yeah, that all makes sense to me. I want to back Clevenger. Hearing Jose on the other side will keep me off of it. The first 5, let's see if we can get him over at Pinnacle on the Mariners plus 118, getting a plus money spot on the Mariners at plus 118.
I think minus 105 for me.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, you got a much nicer number here at Pinnacle. Mariners first 5 plus 118. Pete, are you surprised the market's kind of moving towards the over in this spot?
I guess a little bit. It's. I guess no, not really. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, it's obviously anytime you have a total of 7, it's not a huge shock if there's a little bit of money that comes in on the over.
And that is what has happened here. Well, I will comfortably let Jose talk me off of moving on Clevenger, and I will cheer Jose's play of the day on Mariners first 5 at plus 118 here, celebrating Venezuela's Independence Day. Who is your special guest on the show, and what is your record?
Well, es un buen question, Jimmy. Primero es Bobano. Everyone sabe de Bobano. Él y yo vamos a celebrar Venezuela hoy. No sé qué vamos a hacer. Y Jimmy, creo que tú sabes más que de Venezuela que yo. No sabe hoy ese fun fact de Venezuela, el primer country de todo eso. Shout out to Simón Bolívar, by the way. El libertador, but that's what we do here. Pero gracias, Jimmy, por esto. It's been fun. El español no me sirve para nada, pero, aquí estoy tratando, aquí estoy frenando y todo eso. Pero, here we go. I guess it's time to turn off the SAP button here soon. So, bye-bye.
Wonderful work. There he is, Jose Bouquet. Jose Zenyatta, lamb chop, one whole bouquet, celebrating Venezuela's Independence Day, and moving on to Mariners first 5+118. Pete, that's his favorite look on the entire card.
Yeah, I don't. I again, in general, last month and probably this upcoming month, I am blindly high on Seattle. This spot makes me a little nervous. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I certainly any look on Seattle, especially as a dog, is nothing I could make a strong argument against. It just Clevenger's okay. Seattle, San Diego should be better. It's a day game coming off of a home team off of a loss where they're a little bit angry at themselves. So we'll see.
Well, we move on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Dami Gun Ricci joining us in the chat. We got Danny Lopez.
Danzo also liking the over. There'll be a dozen runs in this game today. Okay.
And Dami Gun's already moved on the under 9 and the White Sox. There's Rob Free in the house. We got Dabby Cab. Okay, we move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern, and that takes us to the MLB spreadsheet play of the day, and it is on the Miami Marlins. A 10-1-1 run for the spreadsheet play of the day, and he celebrated his birthday yesterday. So do give a shout out if you haven't to our guy Ron Crawford, star of the spreadsheet play of the day. I did move on the Marlins. Now, I came close to moving first 3 and first 5, both on the money line. At that point, I could get the Marlins at minus 135. They moved to minus 140 while I was sitting there humming and hawing last night. And I just took one bet, Marlins first 5, minus half, at even money, dropping the VIG was the plan. Let's talk about this spot, and let's start first with the cash flow. There is maybe let's say 20%, 18%, 17% line value here on the Marlins, according to Sports Insights. 5,157 tickets in, 84% of the tickets, 96% of the cash on the Marlins. 71% of tickets are on the under. 71%. We don't have a cash flow yet for the amount of cash on that under, but 71% of tickets are on that under. So then let's move over to see exactly, let's move here, where that cash is. Why is it not good? Here we go. Angels, Clevenger. There's been just a 10-cent move to the Marlins, which makes me nervous. And then there has been a 15-cent move to the under, which makes sense here. The question is, do you trust Noah Syndergaard to take care of business here on the road? On the road, he's 1-4 with a 6.53 ERA, and opponents are hitting .306 against him. His last start was at home against the White Sox, who don't hit righties hard, and he looked good. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Quality start, 3.86 ERA, 1.18 whip, but do you trust him on the road? Sandy Alcantara looked excellent in his last start. 3 runs, just 2 of which were earned. 4-3 win. He went completo. 9 innings, 7 hits. He looked very good. He's looked very good all year. He's a Cy Young winner if the season were to end today in the NL. 1.95 ERA, 0.95 whip. He just keeps doing it. At home, he's even better than he is on the road. 4-2 at home, 1.80 ERA, opponents hitting 192 against them. The Angels' stats versus righties just continue to drop. Season long now, 234, 710 OPS. Sammy Comer says, Marlins bats always find a way to screw me. Might play the first 5 under 3.5. Marlins versus righties, 252, 733 OPS. Marlins bullpen has not been good. 4.19 ERA, 1.32 whip, converted 20-33. They've been a little better over this winning streak. Angels bullpen, 4.07 ERA, 1.22 whip, converted 21-36. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Loshak, Angels, Marlins.
Yeah. You're down on the Marlins pen, huh?
Not over the last week or so, but if you go the 3 weeks before that, they were bad. And this was a pen that I was kind of high on, and they were bad. They were bad and they cost me money. So yeah, maybe it's more of a vividness issue, but yes, I'm not.
Yeah, I think going forward, I like this pen, Jimmy the Bag. Again, that's not a guarantee or a lock of anything. That's just my opinion. I'm kind of high on them, quite high on them, Jim. I know that their ERA has been bad, but their peripherals are pretty promising. Yeah, this one, Alcantara is obviously the real deal, an elite starter right now. Guy who's off of a complete game, high pitch count, doesn't matter. It happened already once this year. His next start was great. And the Angels, I'm not exactly sure what's up with them. Their lineup should be better than what it is so far. There's just something a little bit wrong with that lineup. They continue to underperform even the modest expectations that my stats have for them. So yeah, the line is low. And as far as Syndergaard is concerned, again, it's an educated guess. If you think Syndergaard's going to be okay, then I think no run in the first inning is a great play. If you don't, then Miami, first 3, first 5, and full game are all great plays as well. I have to decide. I want to make a bet here. I don't know if I want to give Angels first 5 team total under at 1.5, although my numbers indicate that there's value there even at 1.5. My numbers indicate basically value all around, small value all around with Miami in every which way. Angels first 5 team total under, Miami first 3, first 5, full game. No reason to believe that, statistically anyway, no reason to believe that Alcantara won't have another great start. And Syndergaard, a bit of a question mark. I'm not as down on him as some people are, but I'm definitely somewhat down on him as most people are and should be. So leaning no run first inning, leaning Angels first 5 team total under, leaning Miami first 3, first 5 full game.
Yeah, I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I guess I get a little nervous when there's 96% of the cash on the side and the market doesn't move, 30 cents. That's probably why I'm only on first 5. I stared at that first 3 minus a half at plus 145. I stared at it for a long time, but I guess just a little nervous after a tough Friday. Let's just see if this is still available for me, if there's anything's changed on these first 5.
You know what, Jimmy the Bag? I'm seeing first 3 here at Will Hill at minus 130. I can't not take that. Now, The last time I said that was Alex Manoah at minus whatever the fuck I took. That one was a loser. But we're going to do it again. Miami Marlins first 3. We can make that official. Minus 130.
All right, let's get that for Pete. He is on the board. Marlins first 5.
No, first 3. First 3.
Oh, excuse me. First 3. Yes, my bad. Minus first 3. First 3 minus 130. Having some sleeping issues here as we're about to move, Pete. So if I slip up on any numbers, please just keep an ear out for them because it may happen again. Marlins first 3 minus 130. There we go. We got Millsy in the house. Eddie Euler says Syndergaard career versus Marlin hitters. Anyone? Sure, my friend. I'll pull them up right now for you, as there was not much information in Gilbert Clevenger. Let's see if there is more here in the Angels Marlins verse Alcantara. Nothing. Kurt Suzuki has 3 at-bats, and Jonathan Villar has 8 at-bats. Against Syndergaard, these Miami batters don't have a rich history. You think there'd be more. Miguel Rojas does, 19 at-bats. He's hits 263 against 13 at-bats against Brian Anderson. No one hits him, but small sample size. But no one hits him. But his numbers on the road are enough to scare anybody off, and I am scared off. Matty Ice in the house. The star of Taint play of the day is in the house. Let's set that up. That's the Tampa Bay Boston first 5 under 5 for Matty Ice. Let's get that. And let's also give a big shout out, Pete. Do you have a message to the sweet Nutflush Allen family? They're in Lake Havasu, already on the water. Kids on the inner tube, but I try to drive the boat and cap the games. And Kristen already has ice cold adult beverages ready for us. What a family.
I mean, Nutflush Allen is the personification of the idea that we talked about a long time ago, which is what is more important, love and family or sports betting winners? It's very close. And the answer is family. Nutflush Allen is Exhibit A for that. What a guy, what a life, what a family man, what a capper. Shout out to you, Nut Flush Allen.
Shout out to Nut Flush Allen. All right, we're 2 games in. We've already had our specialty spots covered, 2 of the 3. We haven't got to Matty Ices yet, but Jose Seje, play of the days, the Mariners first 5 at plus 118. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet, play of the days, the Miami Marlins. Pete's on the Marlins first 3 minus 130.
And you know what, Jim? Let's add some more. Let's add on Angels first 5, team total under 1.5 minus 135. That's at Pinnacle.
First 5, team total under 1.5 minus what?
135.
You are in?
And you know what? I think I am going to go with no run in the first inning as well. It's not a big line, minus 135 as well. Again, it's the old thing. If Syndergaard does give up some runs in the first inning, all right, that's a loser, but that means the first 3 is probably going to cash. So we'll go with that as well. First, no run in the first inning, minus 131 current line of Pinnacle.
I like it. I like it. Danzo says that I think the Marlins are going to go on a big winning streak. They've been scoring runs the past 2 weeks. We have so many different styles of cappers here. I love what Danzo does. Goes for the big scores, and he takes a PDD. He does the first inning over 1.5 is one of his spots that he attacks. He attacks a whole bunch of different spots, and for big plus lines and reverse lines, and he's a fun capper to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Danzo, we need more of you on Twitter. It's where we need more of you. Okay,
Angels are just a bad team, which is just hard to wrap you. Even if they just had Trout, that'd be hard to wrap. Even if they just had Ohtani, that'd be hard to wrap your head around. But they got those 2 and Tyler Ward. They're still a bad team, though. Yeah,
they're just a bad team. That's right. Ronnie Imperia says it might be time to ride the fish. I can't get the first 3 at that number. And I wish I could get the first 3 at that number. I got minus 150. And then I just want to see if that is still first 3 minus a half at plus 145. If that has changed, it's plus 140. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick with what I have. First 5 minus a half at plus 100. A lot of guys talking about the full game under. And what comes down for me, and the reason why I'm not on it, is I just can't trust Syndergaard on the road, where he's 1-4 with a 6.53 ERA and opponents rating 306 off him. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is that Syndergaard is obvious. Everyone's remembering he's like, oh, he's so much shittier compared to what he was. Yeah, which he is, but he's still throwing 94. I mean, it's
yeah,
it's tough. Yeah.
I hear you. I don't trust him enough, and I'm not concerned after Alcantara throws 117 pitches. I mean, he's throwing 113. He throws over 100. He goes deep in the games. But I wish I could have doubled up here. I wish as soon as this line came up, I took first 3 and first 5 on the money line. But now I'm just going to take the first 5 minus a half. Okay, let's roll on. Next up on the board, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets 50-30, 24-17 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 27-52, 13-26 at home. We're at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. We will start with the weather in Cincy, and it is 95, and it feels like 108. Humid. In Cincy, 9 miles per hour out to left field, dies down to 6.1 miles per hour. And there's the big Ragu in the house. Do you know that big Ragu came on 2 spots back on the show and went 9-1? And he was 9-0. He lost his last bet. He was 9-0 on picks given out here on the show in MLB. The big Ragu. Syndergaard. This from Ragu. Syndergaard in 12 lifetime versus Marlins only yielded 4 runs once. Most outings have been 2 runs.
Big Ragu. He did his fucking Big Ragu, man. Yeah, I noticed that in the capping the tournament this past year. Big Ragu is like a bit of a special capper, and he was probably like, let me pick the fucking goofiest name I can to joke at people and to have a little misdirection. Shout out to Big Ragu, man. That guy's no fucking joke when it comes to capping. Hell yeah.
What the fuck did you say about Ragu's nickname?
It's intentionally. I mean, look at me. I do the same shit, but I'm not nearly as goofy or as smart as Big Ragu. Hell yeah. Shout out to Big Ragu.
Shit, man. Jesus. All right.
What a fucking guy! Yeah, in the NCAA tournament, the guy was making some awesome reads that I didn't see, especially on Duke. Shout out to Big Ragu.
And did you call him a goof?
I said that Big Ragu is an intentionally goofy name.
Okay. All right.
I heard Big Ragu. That's what I heard. Peter just called him.
Yeah.
Wow, Pete. Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati, Ohio. We have Maximus Scherzer returning to the team after being away nursing his oblique strain. Suffered it May 18th. Hoping to go 90 pitches today. He allowed 4 runs on 7 hits and 2 walks while striking out 14 over 8 innings in 2 rehab starts with AA Binghamton. AA Binghamton. There's a Canadian capper in the house. Maximus Scherzer, last start was May 18th when he felt that oblique strain. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs. 1 was earned, 4 Ks, no walks. He's been very good this year. 5-1, 2.54 ERA, 0.95 WHIP, 49 2/3, 59 Ks, 11 walks, and 5 home runs. On the road, he's been very good as well. A little worse than he has been at home, but splits are not important here. Going up against Nick Lodolo. So we have one pitcher in Scherzer who hasn't pitched since May 18th, and now we have a pitcher in Nick Lodolo who hasn't pitched in the bigs since April 24th. He's been out since late April, dealing with a back strain, and this back strain has been a real problem for him. His return has been postponed multiple times. In AAA Louisville, over 10 2/3, he's 2.53 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. He got up to 4 2/3 and 78 pitches in his last outing for Louisville. I do not think he goes deep into this game, even if he's pitching great. And that will bring in this Reds bullpen that is a 5.65 ERA, 1.52 WHIP, converted 15 of 25 save opportunities. Now, don't forget, Lodolo was the 7th overall pick in the 2019 draft. When they, and that was out of TCU, when they could have got him out of high school in the 2017 draft, they drafted him in the first round when they knew they weren't going to sign him. This guy has been a very highly thought of pitcher with an enormous potential. In the bigs, though, he hasn't been great. His last start, April 24th against the Cardinals, was his best start of the year. He's just 24 years old. But on the year, 5.52 ERA, 1.57 WHIP. We talked about how hot it is. Let's go over to the line history in the Scherzer-Lodolo spot. Mets open up at minus 185. They're now minus 210. So there has been a 25-cent move towards them. The first move, though, interestingly enough, was towards the Reds. 5-cent move, and then the public came in and started backing Scherzer. This total opened at 9 at a pick'em. Overall, there's been a 5-cent move to the under. We take a look at the cash flow in this one. 7,565 tickets in. 7% of the tickets are on Lodolo, and 33% of the cash. You have big bets coming in on Lodolo. You have the initial move towards the Reds, and then the publics come in and bet the Mets and moved it, what did I say, 30, 35 cents. The total here, 59% of the tickets on the over, but just 44% of cash is on the over. So that's a little confusing. Market moving towards the under. If it's moving towards the under, it's saying that both will have, I guess that makes sense. Both will have a good start here. Take it away, Pistol, Pete, Loshak, Mets, Reds.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very tough one. When I first saw this, obviously, both starters are question marks. Lodolo, though, is long-term. There are some very positive signs with him, right? His pitches are improving. He's got a high ceiling, high upside, and from everything that he's doing in the minors and the reports that I'm reading about him, they're impressed with his progress. So long-term, things are looking very up for him. Of course, Scherzer is Scherzer. But yeah, and the Mets are a better team, of course. But at this line, in this situation, my numbers indicated that there was some value on the Reds. There's no way that line should have been as high as it is. Definitely didn't pull the trigger on it. Low confidence all around here. And Scherzer should be good most of the time this year, I think, until further notice. So this is a very tough one. Mets definitely overall the far superior team, though. No play for me. If you gave me a free bet on it, I'd probably throw it on the Reds as this big of an underdog, but definitely no play. Let's see if anyone in the comments section has anything to say about this one. Let's see.
I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I do not want a huge price on a starting pitcher who has not pitched and was down in Double-A trying to rehab. Not that Double-A is a bad place to rehab, but I'm with you. This makes me very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable. So, and in the chat, we don't have a ton of people on the Mets. Jack Jenkins is on the Mets. Eddie Euler says New York Mets 16-13 versus left-handed starters. Eddie Euler leaning to the Mets on the run line. But yeah, not a ton of Ken Mizrahi's on the over in the Mets game.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely, and if you gave me a free plan, I had to use it on the total. I'd put it on the over despite the starters. Tough one.
Yeah, tough one. I would bet the over right now if there weren't bigger bets that have come in on the under. So that'll be enough. I got to go back to what was working for me, and that was when everything correlated. So I would be on the over if that wasn't the case, but it's not the case. So I'm going to stay off of it. But the market telling us Lodolo is going to have a nice start here, and I am off, and so is Pistol Pete Loshak. We'll move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The New York Yankees, 58-22. 24-13 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates, 32-47, 19-22 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, Pete, we remember when we were in Costa Rica together.
Right. See, there you go. Big Regu 62 liking the Mets team total over, which makes a lot of sense because Lodolo, he'll either get touched or if he's good, he won't go deep, and then you got the bullpen. There you go. That's probably the best bet right there.
Yeah, I would have interest in that. Schnizzle kind of liking it too.
Yeah.
Pete, when we started together that first year, when I got destroyed badly, publicly, in very embarrassing fashion and couldn't sleep at night in MLB. Thank God for NHL because it gave me a little bit of if we had just started the season with MLB and I got destroyed, I would not be sitting with you on the show right now.
Right.
It was a tough first year, but I remember Twate Latte cashing the Reds team totals for a month. A month straight, cashing every day, focusing only on the Reds team totals, and it made him 10K. Our Jose Zenyatta Bouquet has done the same thing with these Pittsburgh Pirates, and he's been cashing. And I don't think that we should discuss a Yankees-Pirates game without our man Jose Bouquet, as there's been an enormous amount of glory when it comes to the Pirates and Jose Bouquet. What the hell's going on with my audio?
Hello, Jimmy. How are you doing? Can you hear?
I'm good.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. There's something wrong with your audio, Jose. It's messing up our audio. So let's get you to fix that. He's going to restart his computer
right now if he's got one.
Okay, let's go. We're good. We're good to go. Everything's fine. PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We'll have Jose come back and join us. He's going to redo his computer. Let's go over with the start with the weather here in PNC Park in Pittsburgh. And we have a hot day there. 84 Fahrenheit, feels like 92, 8.9 miles per hour out to center. Goes down to 6.9 and 5.4. It's too bad that big bets are in on the under in that spot, and Lodolo's expecting to have a good start because it makes me want to bet the over there. Let's go over to the line history here. Sorry, I was talking again back to that Mets game in my head. Let's go over to the market history here. And in this Yankees-Pirates spot, there has been a 15-cent move towards the Pirates. They opened up plus 185. They're down to plus 170. For the Yankees, they opened up at minus 225. They're down to minus 200. Then from a total perspective, it opened up at 8.5, and at 8.23 this morning, it moved to 9. Right now, it's moved 5 cents more over to 9. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. We have Jose back in action with us here. 8,372 tickets counted. There is a slight line value, I would say an eighth line value on the Pittsburgh Pirates here. 11% of the tickets are on the Pittsburgh Pirates and 49% of the cash. Big bets are coming in on these buccos. 68% of the tickets on the over, 94% of the cash on the over. That tells me that Taillon who's been struggling a little bit of late, the market thinks that there's a chance that continues to happen. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Not a bad start in the 5-3 win at home versus the A's. Tyon, 9-1, 3.32 ERA, 1.15 whip on the season. He's been very good on the year, but a little bit rough for the last few starts. But he's been great on the road all year. 4-0, 2.70 ERA, 236 opponent's batting average. He's had a tougher time at home. Going up against Quintana. Quintana has been a little bit better at home than he has been on the road, and he's been good this year. He's 3.43 ERA, 1.29 whip. Last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-1 loss at Washington. At home, he's 1-3 with a 3.15 ERA. Opponents hitting 250 off of him. The Yankees have a ton of power versus lefties. Don't hit for a high average, 237, but 766 OPS. Pirates versus righties, 221, 662 OPS. And this Yankees bullpen lights out. This Pirates bullpen struggles at times. Let's see if Jose Zenyatta Bouquet is going back to his Bucco as well. Are you?
I am, yeah. No, I said a couple days ago it'd be every day. They got I was 1 and I think it was 1-3 this last series, but that was due to Corbin Burns and Brendan Woodruff, just being good. Just being good. It happens. It happens to a young team. If they get shut out by those pitchers, I'll accept my L's there and move on. Jameson Taillon, we all know, former Pirate. Think it'll be interesting to see him come back. But yeah, I am going to take their team total over 3.5 here. I have said this frequently. I watch a lot of Pirates baseball now. It's quite funny actually how much Pirates baseball I watch, but their bullpen is just, whew, it is so bad. It is so bad. And their coach doesn't really know how to use it well. So I'm taking the Pirates team total over 3.5. It's at even money on Bovada right now. And it was pretty surprising to me that they're starting to catch on a little bit because a 3 now is at -145. So, yeah, I'm taking the team total of 3.5.
The team total over 3.5. Let me just see what I can get you here. I can get you Yankees, plus 107 at Pinnacle. So we'll get you that number. Take it away, Jose. Sorry.
Well, first of all, the numbers that I'm getting at Pinnacle are worrisome because, as Peter Loshak says, if you get your best numbers at Pinnacles, you're fucked. That's not exactly what he says, but it's just paraphrasing. It's just paraphrasing. Yeah. But I will say this: the Yankees do present a challenge for the team totals because they have a stellar bullpen. It is worrisome. At least with the Brewers, I could go to a bullpen that is vulnerable when it's not Hader or Williams. Everyone else I could work with. In this bullpen, you've got 2 of the 3 best relievers in baseball right now, in Clay Holmes and Michael King. So that will be interesting to see. But I'm still fucking raising it no matter what. I mean, come on, dude. It's the Yankees versus the Pirates. These are my 2 favorite teams playing against each other. I mean, why would I not bet the Pirates? Come on.
I get it. Pirates team total over 3.5 at plus 107. Why don't you stick around here so that we can hear that sweet, sweet phrase of yours when we close out this game. Pistol Pete Loshak, Yankees, Buccos, take it away.
Yeah. First of all, I'll just give my my bullpen opinion here. I don't know if I'd call the Yankees bullpen stellar right now. I'd call them mid-range.
Tell me, Pete. Tell me, yes.
I'm just saying, based on the way I look at bullpens right now, it's fine. I agree with you that Pittsburgh has a shitty pen, although I'd probably take their pen over Cincinnati, KC, and Arizona. But yeah, definitely bottom 5, I would say. But not a Yankees bullpen as of right now. I would have them. And again, bullpen ratings are notoriously difficult to make. But I would rate them currently mid-range, not stellar, certainly not what they were at the beginning of the year. And Pittsburgh, we've talked about this, Jimmy the Bag. They have a lot of young guys with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm and guys who are not going to get lethargic and underachieve. So Pittsburgh is a team that I haven't been betting on them as much as Jose, I'm sure, or our other sharper cappers, but in spots, definitely. After that huge loss, I was definitely on them the next game and taking them first 3 and first 5 and stuff. This one is, and Quintana is tough because he's definitely serviceable, but also a little vulnerable. So, the Yankees will probably get to him a bit, and then they go up against the lineup. So, but again, it's just such a frustrating. I wanted to take the Yankees, but the line was just too high. My numbers indicated that Pittsburgh had a little value at the opening line. Now it's gone down. I'll probably have a bet on this by first pitch. Maybe even first 3 or first 5 over. Maybe even, Yankees team total over and maybe the over. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. My numbers, despite the fact that I like Pittsburgh, as the line goes down, my numbers are pretty soon gonna like the Yankees -1. So I don't know. And Tyon has definitely been vulnerable. This might be an easier spot. We'll see what the lineups are, but yeah, leaning overs in general.
Leaning towards overs here, and that does make sense. Let me just take a look again at the cash flow for this Yankees over. We have 68% of tickets, 94% of cash, but it's already gone from 8.5 to 9. Wonder if that should concern me.
Pete,
We had
a random question for you later.
What'd you say?
I have a random question for you. It involves baseball. We can talk about it after this game.
Okay, sure.
I like this over 9. I think it makes sense to me. Got to get Quintana out, get to this bullpen. Tyon has not looked good. Do you think that Tyon's going to be a little bit more emotionally invested after starting his career with his ball club? They have a rich history of not.
But again, Pittsburgh has a young, energetic lineup with a lot of lefties in it, so it's not a great spot for him.
I think this will be my first addition to the card. Yankees Pirates over 9, which should work with Jose's play of the day. Number 2, Pirates team total over 3.5 plus 107. Jose, is it time?
Well, hold on, Jim. I have to ask Pete a question. You are gonna fucking make me say it here. I mean, just you wait. I just want to ask Pete. I ask Pete every so often. I know he's not a big futures guy. I just want to ask him if the Yankees are still going to win the World Series or make the World Series. I just want your update.
I have
no opinion. No opinion's going to make the World Series yet.
No, I think day to day, week to week, my general feelings about teams relative to their likely market valuation over the next few weeks or so, and that's it. Couldn't care less about World Series futures, unless I have to do a video where I have to cap them, and then I do. But as of right now, haven't even thought about it.
All right, fair enough. Well, as always, thank you for your insight and knowledge. I appreciate all your big brainness. And I will say this: I didn't say this earlier, and a lot of people didn't understand me. Anyways, I'm 256 and 245 up 14.06 units on the year still. So we're still rolling. We're still rocking. Bobano is the special guest today. It's gonna be a fun time. But. And by the way, I bought my Red Sox tickets too this weekend.
Oh, nice.
I bought my Red Sox tickets this weekend. So it's gonna be a fun time. But I am already starting to look at the schedule and see when the fuck are these Pirates coming to town? Because I've talked all this shit. I gotta go see my boys. I gotta go see my guy O'Neal Cruz. I gotta go see my guy, the All-Star Brian Reynolds, who's coming soon. David Bednar, who might not be on this team very soon, but he's amazing as well. Just remember, guys, when you're feeling down and you don't know what to do, just look at my 18-8 or 17-8 record. I have not updated it recently. 17-8 record betting these Pirates. And we're just raise it.
And we move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Texas Rangers at Baltimore Orioles, Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. These Rangers, 20-21 on the road. They've been a nice bet on the road. The Baltimore Orioles have been a nice bet all year. 37-44, 19-17 at home. We're at Camden Yards. And let's take a look at the weather to get this started here in Charm City. We have 80 Fahrenheit, feels like 84, 9.5 miles per hour out to straightaway center, 9.5, 8.2, 7.9. So it stays out to straightaway center. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. The Howard Voth monster pitching matchup opened up as a pick'em. There has been a 5-cent move to the Orioles, although the first move was towards the Rangers. Then from a total perspective, opened at 9.5 as a pick'em. It's still 9.5, but it's now juiced to the under. 10-cent move towards the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. There is, so I would say a fifth There's two spots with the highest line value, and one makes sense to me. And it's not even, we're talking about a fifth line value, not a ton. And what makes sense to me is the Twins with Archer, with the way Kopech has been pitching. I would like to move on the Twins first 5. The line had not moved at all when the show started, or 20 minutes before the show started. So I wanted to talk it out with you guys. But the other is here with the Baltimore Orioles and Austin Voth. And these models agree because 56% of the tickets are on the Orioles and Austin Voth, and 90% of the cash. And yet, this line is a 5-cent move towards them. 90% of the cash on the Baltimore Orioles. Wild. Then 43% of tickets on the under, and 87% of cash is on the under. So they're expecting a nice start from Howard and Voth. Is it possible that they could produce here? Voth has been one of the worst pitchers in recent memory, but he hasn't been too awful this year. Spencer Howard is throwing 6 and 2/3 innings right now, and has allowed 6 home runs. 6 home runs in 6 and 2/3 innings. Rangers are hitting just 237, 675 OPS versus righties. Orioles just 228, 680, and both bullpens have been so good this year. Surprising. The Orioles bullpen's been so good. Take it away here, Pete. Rangers, Orioles.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a tough one because this guy Spencer Howard, coming off an awesome AAA start, right? Absolutely lights out, struck out 11 or something like that. Of course, in the majors, gave up a lot of home runs in April. So there's obviously a lot of talent with Howard. I don't love betting a guy who's coming off of a lights-out minor league start and who struggled in the majors before he went down. I'm kind of snake bit in MLB right now. My instinct is to take Texas early here, first 3 or first 5. Voth should be vulnerable in general, and Howard might be, it might continue. His excellence from his last start might continue over here. I know some of our esteemed cappers in the comments section like the Orioles, right? Eddie Euler likes the Orioles and Orioles first 5. And I believe Big Ragu said he liked Baltimore as well here. And, of course, Sports Insights saying that they like a little bit of value on Baltimore, although they're talking about full game, and I'm not talking about full game. I'm just talking about first 3 or first 5. Voth is a guy who I would like to fade in general. And Spencer Howard, big wild card. Lights out in his last minor league start in the majors, was not getting it done. What's going to happen here? Hard to say. Leaning Texas, haven't bet it. Leaning Texas first 3, first 5. Well, Rob 3 says, I see a yes run in first inning. That's a possibility as well.
This game makes me very uncomfortable. I don't want to trust either pitcher, but I also know that they're better than these horrific stats. I know Voth doesn't have horrific stats thus far in 12 innings. But I do not want to be involved in this game. I do not want to have cash riding on it, and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
And Eddie Euler says, thanks, Pete. That was before I knew about Howard's lights-out minor league start, but that's not necessarily a great thing here, Eddie Euler. As our esteemed baseball experts, I'm sure will tell you, a lot of times there's guys who are just like lights out in the minors, and maybe long-term they're fine, but then when they're lights out in the minors, they come up to the majors, little bit complacent or whatever, and in the majors they struggle. So it's very. But on the other hand, though, Howard clearly has legit, lights out potential even in the majors. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand expecting Howard to move forward. We've been waiting for that for some time now with the Rangers, and I do not really expect Voth to be much better than he's been here. I don't want to be involved. We do have Big Show in the house, Pete, the newly engaged Big Show. By the way, Pistol Pete, newly engaged Big Show. Congrats, Big Show, our guy. I watched the UFC stream, the live stream that we have here on Pop Sports Radio, and they were great. The Big Show's so funny as the voice of God. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals 29-53, 15-22 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 42-38, 22-20 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're going to start with the weather in Philly. 77 Fahrenheit, 12.5 miles per hour to center. goes to 11.7. I'm going to refresh here. I like to do a refresh during the show, just make sure I've got the most recent numbers here. And yes, even stronger, 13.3 miles per hour out to center and drops down to 11.9. Offensive weather in Philly. Let's take a look at the line history here in Philadelphia. Espino versus Sanchez. Philly opened up at minus 160. The opening move was 5 cents towards them. It took 7 hours to move 5 cents. It's come back, so it's right where it started. Then from a total perspective, it's 9.5 at the pick'em, right where it started. Spence by UD, by the way, says best bet for me is Orioles' first 5 innings and money line for Spence.
There you go.
The house. Paul Trippy's on the Nats. And the is that the Nats minus? What is that Nats 1.5? If you could let me know. Big Ragu says O's are 25 and 11, 69.4% on the run line at home for your information. Rob Free says the Phillies bullpen game. Hell to the no. Hell no. Says Christopher Sanchez involved to start off this bullpen day. He's throwing 15 2/3. He's looked good. He's looked good as a lefty, but as he says, but this bullpen, and I'd be interested to hear what Peter say, this bullpen has been quite a bit better of late. So I'd be interested if there's any interest in Pete. Coyne likes Philly on the -1 line. Espino on the other hill, coming off an 8-7 loss at home versus Pittsburgh. He went 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, 1 walk, and an 8-7 loss. He's been good this year. That wasn't a good example of him being good. On the road, he's been better than he has been at home. Now, we're only talking about 20 and a third innings, but 2.21 ERA, 218 opponent's batting average. The Nats versus lefties is probably not a big deal here because Sanchez is only going to play an inning and a half or 2 innings, but he'll get it started. Nats have no power against lefties this year. 248 average, 679 OPS. Phillies versus righties, 245, 721 OPS. Phillies bullpen, as I said, 3.90 ERA, 1.34 whip, being a little better compared to 18-27. Nats bullpen being tough all year, 4.43 ERA, 1.38 whip, 14-22. I don't mean tough for the opposition. I mean tough. They're bad. Take it away here, Pete. Nationals, Phillies.
And also, one big thing is that Juan Soto might be out. I'm not exactly sure what to expect from him, but he has a calf issue. Last game he was out, but he pinch hit, and he might be out again. I'm seeing him listed as questionable, and obviously that matters. You know, when he's out, Washington takes a big drop offensively. Espino looks vulnerable to me, and this guy Sanchez, classic, sinker baller. I forgot what his percentage is, but it's something huge. It's like 60 or 70% so far. Sinker baller, and has done well in the minors. Has done well in the minors. So I'm definitely leaning, Philly -1. Philly maybe team total over, first 5 team total over. Sanchez is a big question mark, but there's some upside there. Soto, it's not a serious injury, but he was out last game. He might be out here again. That's a big if. That's a big question. And Philly in general has done well since the managerial change. I'm definitely in general leaning Philly here. Expecting Sanchez to maybe be okay. Expecting Espino to be, maybe be vulnerable. A lot of fly balls. He's had some control issues recently. So any major league pitcher like Espino, if he comes in against Philly in this park and throws 5 innings, 1 run, not a shock. But I would expect him more likely than not to be vulnerable. And backing Sanchez as well. So yeah, I'll make something official here. In general, liking Philly, unless I see some comment section comments that take me way off it. But let's see. Big Ragu, I would rest Soto for sure. Yeah, I mean, he might be out again. Give me the bag. Sports Insights doesn't say anything about this one.
I have refreshed Sports Insights, and there has been a massive change in something. There is now a team with full line value.
What's that?
The Cincinnati Reds.
No shit.
And Nick Lodolo, the Reds. And now Arizona has half line value.
No shit.
Gilbert in Arizona. Back to this spot here, 4,388 tickets in. 78% of tickets, 89% of cash on Philly. 51% of tickets, 59% of cash on the under. Has this Phillies bullpen improved? I know their year-long stats have improved slightly, but
yeah. I mean, I never had them as ranked too horrible. I think they'll regress in a significant way, but regress back to mid-range. I mean, I have them as, in general, vaguely mid-range. Last couple weeks or so, they've been great. And I don't think that's a fluke, but I don't think that's likely to continue. But they're definitely not a bullpen that I'm down on, put it that way.
All this money here on the Philadelphia Phillies and no line move towards them.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, Jimbo. But we'll make it official. We'll make it official. I'll take Philly -1, -112. That's the current line at Heritage. We can do that. Philly -1, -112. We can make that official. What the hell?
You are in business. Phillies -1, -112. Let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 40-38, 20-21 on the road at the Detroit Tigers 32-47, 21-24 at Homework America Park in Detroit, Michigan. We will start with the weather in Detroit. 89 Fahrenheit. Feels like 96. Wow. I'm not that far from there. I don't know why it's so cold up here, or not so cold, but colder. 8.8 miles per hour out to left, dies down to 5.7 by the end of the game. Let's move over to the line history in Quantrill Hutchison. We have the Guardians opening up at -145. The move was towards them. 5 cents at 9:20 p.m., 5 more cents at 9:51 a.m. At 10:30 a.m., there was this can't be. They said there's a huge move towards Cleveland. Let me just double check that and make sure that this isn't a mistake. It is a mistake. Okay, good thing. Good thing I double checked that. So yeah, that 10-cent move towards the Guardians. Then from a total perspective, it opened up at 8.5 and has moved to 9. So it opened up at 8.5 -115 to the over. It's now 9 and -115 to the over. Let's see if the money correlates with all of that here. Pull up this Guardians Tigers odds. 4,262 tickets in. 87% of tickets, 94% of the cash on Cleveland and Quantrill. And then the tickets are at a pick'em for 49% of coin flip, I should say. 49% tickets to the over, 51% tickets to the under, and we don't have a cash flow set up yet. Joseph Gomez says FanDuel still has the -134. J.A. says take the under. Aurabus says, I don't see how Tigers win, but Cleveland hasn't been hitting at all. Eddie Euler has this Cleveland-Detroit game 5-4. Johnny Gonzalez says, are the Tigers a bet-on team right now? Well, their bullpen has certainly been playing well. Let's talk about Quantrill and Hutchinson. So, look, Hutchinson tried to make it up here as a pitcher, and I didn't think we'd ever see him again, honestly,
right,
when he was DFA'd. And he's fought his way back up to the bigs. And when he started 2 ago, I thought it would be a bullpen day. But they are stretching him out. And his last start, the second start up in the bigs this year, but his second start, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 K, 2 walks, and a 7-3 win at home versus Rangers. He looked okay. 4.81 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. Quantrill coming off a 7-6 win at the Twins, where he was very good. 8 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, no walks. Doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but gets soft contact. He's been worse on the road than he has been at home. He's pretty comfortable at home. Not very good on the road. 1-4, 4.41 ERA, and opponents are hitting .295 against him. Guardians versus righties, 251, 714 OPS. Tigers haven't hit righties all year. Nothing's changed. 216, 594 OPS. Guardians bullpen now 3.61 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. This bullpen was very good to start the season. It's slipping. And the Tigers bullpen has been very good. Very good. Grandma Horse Racing. Loved seeing Grandma Horse Racing in our horse racing chat on Cash at Fridays. Great to see her here rocking with us. Pete, take it away. Tigers at home to the Guardians.
Yeah. This is tough. What the hell is wrong with Cleveland, man? What the hell is wrong with Cleveland? Let me look at they've lost 4 out of their last 5 games. I think I bet 3 of those losses, maybe all 4. I don't even remember. No, I didn't. I didn't bet them against the Yankees. But I feel like I've lost a decent amount over the past few weeks, expecting Cleveland to be better than they should be. And yeah, this guy Hutchison, no reason to believe that he won't be vulnerable here. Detroit is not a great hitter-friendly park, but in any park, if a starter is vulnerable, any major league lineup should be able to get to that guy. So I'm definitely leaning Cleveland team total over first 5 at the very least. Big Ragu says, looks like a sleepy under. Both teams have low team total overs juiced high. Rob Free, I'm liking full game under 9 as well. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to take the full game over here for sure. But my stats indicate that Cleveland's offense should be a bit better than it's been, and Hutchinson should be vulnerable. And you know what, Jimmy the Bag, I'll do it. I'll do it. Cleveland first 5 innings, team total over 2.5 minus 112. Current line at Pinnacle. I'll take that one. It for people who don't have first 5 team totals. If I couldn't bet that, I'd probably take a shot with the full game team total over at 4.5 anyway. But I'll take the first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 112. Cleveland.
2.5 minus 112. Jay says under going to cash. Just lock it in. I do think these two are vulnerable as well, and their bullpens are strong enough. Rob Free liking that full game under 9 as well. Says seems like a gift. Coin says Cleveland 1-5 on the road in Quantrill's starts. Road starts.
D. Jenkins says minus 105 on Bovada Pete. Shout out to D. Jenkins. Thank you. Give me that, Jim. Team total over 2.5 minus 105.
Rob Free says Tigers have the number 3 bullpen in the AL. If they get up after 5, night time. Night time. Okay. Big Roo says, I leaned your way on first thoughts with Cleveland. Let me just take a look at what this team or first 5 full, both teams involved. First 5, what would be for me here? Let's pull it up in this Quantrill Hutch start. 4.5.
Give me your thoughts. Your two 1 sentence thought on Cleveland offensively. Do they suck? They're okay, or they should be a lot better than they are? Thank you.
Okay. Right. Not a lot of batter versus pitcher help. Jose Ramirez, though, against Hutchinson, 3 for 6 with a jack and 4 ribbies. Rosario, 1 for 3 with 2 ribbies. I guess that makes me feel good. A lot of history with not as much as I would think, though. Ixnizzle, thinking August 13th to 15th. Tribe plays the Blue Jays in Toronto. Let's talk Ixnizzle, because my issue is our place is being moved back, and but we'll talk. I'd love it if you could come up here. So we'll talk for sure. Figure that out. First 5 team total over 2.5 and minus 105. And if you had a free play on the first 5, it would be over 4.5.
Definitely. Just because wouldn't be a shock if after first 5 it's Cleveland 5, Detroit 0. Wouldn't be a shocker there.
I think I'd be shocked if the Tigers can't get a run off of Quantrill.
Yeah, I mean the first 5 over is some way I'm leaning as well, Jim.
Well, I think I'm going to add the first 5 over 4.5 here. Mm-hmm. Let me just go over how offensive this weather is. I guess not that offensive, but it is hot. 8.8 miles per hour out to left center. Okay. I think I'm going to move on this first 5 over 4.5. We move on. Next step for us, Tampa Bay Rays at Boston Red Sox. Rays, Red Sox. Springs is back. He was on the bereavement list, and he is back for this club. And Matty Ice has moved on this. Matty Ice, taint play of the day is the first 5 under 5 at minus 115. And shout out to Matty Ice. Let's take a look at what the weather is like in Fenway and see what we are dealing with. Matty Ice moving on this first 5 under 5, 75 Fahrenheit, 11.6 miles per hour out to left center, stays in double digits throughout the game, overcast and not too hot in Boston. Let's take a look at the line history in this Red Sox game. Springs Pavetta, we have a 5-cent move to the Rays, plus 115 to plus 110. Although the Rays did get the even money at 7:45 this morning, and it's come back. From a total look, opened up at 9.5 at a pick'em. It's now 9.5 at minus 115, so a 5-cent move there. And when we look at the cash in this Red Sox Rays spot, 4,463 tickets in. And it's a coin flip here. 48% of the tickets on Tampa, 53% of cash. And then 47% of tickets on the under and 58% of the cash on the under. So Springs against Pivetta. I don't know, and I don't know if anybody knows who died in Springs' life. But when I don't know, I get very uncomfortable having any action on the game. You hear after a game and you hear, he's like, my dad died. He brought me to the baseball game every day. This game I dedicated to him. If I knew that, well, then, yeah, I would expect him to have a very, very good start. But if I don't know the situation for why he's on the bereavement list, then I don't have the angle on how to bet Springs. So he has not pitched since June 24th. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. They were all solo shots. 9 Ks, no walks, and a 4-3 extra inning win at home versus the Mets. I love it. Top set in the house. He's been running real nice. Love seeing Elio get that cash. And going up against Slick Nick Pivetta, 8-5, 3.23 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 94 2/3, 91 Ks, 32 walks, 10 home runs. In his last start, he won 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks in a 6-5 extra inning win at the Jays. At home, Nick is even better than he is on the road. At home, 4-2, 2.79 ERA. Opponents hitting just 204 against them. The Rays don't hit righties at all. 230, 669 OPS. And the Red Sox, they rake lefties. 270, 783 OPS. Rays bullpen 3.38 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Converted just 22 of 41 save opportunities. Red Sox bullpen 3.65 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Converted 18 of 36 save opportunities. And Daniel Hernandez in the house has missed you guys on the other show. Great to have you rolling with us here, Daniel Hernandez at Pub Sports Radio. Take it away, Pete. Fascinating game. We have Matty Ice taint play today on the under Rays Red Sox.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe some kind of under or no run in the first inning. Pivetta obviously very solid and reliable start in and start out. I saw one comment. The guy said, "Welcome everybody." Says Pivetta's so cold. I assume that means like ice cold, deadly, not like cold, like not good, right? Because Pivetta's been pretty reliable and Springs as well. It can be lights out. I mean, his last start, he gave up 3 home runs to Pitt, of course, but in general, pretty lights out, and has a changeup that can neutralize righties. So I was thinking about maybe no run in the first inning in this one. That's how I was thinking, Jim.
Yeah, I can't do anything until I know what was happening with Jeffrey Springs.
He was on the bereavement list, so it can't be good, right? Unless you think he was faking it.
No, but I need to know what the angle is. I mean, is it something that was very important to him? Is it something that, I just need – obviously it's important to him because he wouldn't have left. But
that's the definition of bereaved, right?
It is, but I still
don't
need
to dark humor here, but like, I
need to know the angle. I cannot do it without knowing the angle. If your mom dies, you could be just thrown for a loop, just like, just hurting so much. If your dad died, he took you to the diamond every day. You're like, I'm going to throw for my dad out here. I'm going to be lights out. There's just different angles. And if I don't know, I don't need to know.
Yeah. Man, I'm actually ironic. I am expecting a decent start from Springs here. I think it's a good spot for him. Ironically, I'm a little bit more unsure about Pivetta. He's been very reliable, very good, and I think it will continue. I think it's likely to continue. All right, I'll do no run first inning on this one. I will do it. Let me just find the best line here. Jimmy the Bag, no run first inning. Holy shit. Plus 105 at Will Hill. Let me see what. Wow, that's. I mean, I know it's a high total. Wow, plus money, no run in the first inning with these starters. I'm a little bit surprised there.
A little suspicious.
Yeah, plus 106 at Pinnacle.
Wow.
I'll take it anyway. I'll take no run first inning, despite being surprised by that line.
Plus 106 no run first inning for Pete. And for Matty Ice, play the days, Tampa, Boston, first 5 under 5 at minus 115. There's Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Great to see you, G. And G, I don't know if you know this, but we will be live for the entirety of opening day at Saratoga, Thursday, July 14th. And Razor Sharp Pick's going to get off work early so he can be with us all day. That is Thursday. Man, I had fun on Razor's show last Friday night. I needed it too. I had a bad day in MLB and brought me right back hanging out with the guys. Okay.
Wow. Right. No, T-Mac says it's a bad spot for Springs. Okay.
It could be. I need to know these things if I'm going to have an angle and put money on it. I just need to know. I need to know. Can't be held in the dark. If I'm in the dark, there's too much involved with bereavement and bereavement list. And all right, let's move on. 7:20 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 44-38, 20-22 on the road. And look, if I do find some stuff out throughout the day, which is very possible, then I may be able to jump in and make it work. At Atlanta Braves, 47-34, 25-17 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's start with the weather in Atlanta. It's hot, 87 Fahrenheit. Feels like 98, but no wind. 3.1 miles per hour right to left. Dies down to 2.7. Hot with no wind. And let's move over to the line history in this Braves spot. Palante Anderson. Has been a 5-cent move to the Cardinals. They opened up at plus 130. They're now sitting at plus 125. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. St. Louis, Atlanta. There's a sliver. I'm telling you, a 20th, a 5% line value on St. Louis. But the models have been all over this spot for the Cards, and maybe it's just a fade of Ian Anderson. But 44% of tickets are on St. Louis, and 87% of the cash. Huge bets have come in on Palante. 92% of tickets on the over, and we don't have a read on the cash here. And oh no, man, Turnsey at home with COVID again.
Oh shit.
That sucks. Third time, it says third time's the charm. Damn, I hate hearing that you have to go through this again, but I think it's getting lighter and lighter on everybody. And look at T-Mac saying Rusty Kuntz, get better, pal. And there's D. Jenkins giving the love to our guy Turnsey in the house. Man, I can't. I might even. It's possible that we go down to Caesars at Windsor over the All-Star break. We're still discussing it. I'd like to do that. So it's possible that when you're healthy again, I'll be down there to party. Welcome, everybody. Says, I heard Anderson giving it up. He has been. But let's start with Palante. 2-3, 2.10 ERA, 1.31 whip, 55 2/3, 33 Ks, 22 walks, 4 home runs allowed. His last start, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 2 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-3 loss at home versus the Marlins. On the road, now it's just 20 2/3 innings that we're talking about, but it was worth talking about. Palante's being lights out. 1.31 ERA, 205 opponent's batting average. Doesn't have a win under his belt, but who cares? He's pitching well. Then we have Ian Anderson, 6-5, 5.31 ERA, 1.52 whip. I cashed on the Phillies against him, but I thought he was going to, I was way wrong. In a division game, I thought that he was going to pitch well against the Phillies in Philadelphia. He got destroyed. 2 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 K, 1 walk. And he's been so bad at home. One of the angles I had in that game was, he's been much better on the road than he has been at home. I think that maybe he steps up here. He did not. At home, he's 1-2, 6.28 ERA, 283 opponent's batting average. God, how do you trust him? And obviously the betting market's not trusting him. Cards are hitting 249, 718 OPS versus righties. Braves 243, 737 OPS. Cards bullpen 3.56 ERA, 1.22 whip, have converted 18 of 28 save opportunities. Braves bullpen 3.28 ERA, 1.19 whip, have converted 28 of 45 save opportunities. Topset says, when is the AC trip? We don't know when the AC trip is. Atlantic City trip. We're still just raising funds, focusing on just the raising of funds. So at that, but I can tell you it wouldn't be before I can guarantee you won't be before October 1st or anything like that. We're still in the raising funds situation. And Jose, if you could drop the buy a coffee or buy a beer link for people, because we're trying to first off raise $10,000 and then cover everybody's hotels and food and other things, other perks with the 10K. That's the first thing we're doing. Okay, take it away here, Pete. Cards, Braves. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. The Cardinals, I think, should have a better offense than they've had so far. They have some big names in that lineup, and Ian Anderson, there might be, I'm just like pulling this out of thin air, but there might be some kind of like pitch tipping thing going on with him, because he's a guy who's like mostly, a four-seamer and a change, right? 80% of the time he's either throwing a four-seamer and a change. So when he gets crushed, my first thought is that there's some kind of pitch tipping thing possibly going on. Palante, he has been excellent. Gets a lot of grounders, which is odd because he doesn't throw sinker really, but he gets a lot of grounders, and he's been good so far. So yeah, my first thought is, I've been pretty successfully betting Atlanta with their awesome lineup in spots, so I don't love going against them. My first thought, and the opposite has been true with St. Louis. I've been betting on St. Louis to be better offensively than they've actually been. So that makes me nervous to take St. Louis here, but definitely leaning St. Louis at least first 3 and or first 5, and maybe St. Louis team total over. Although again, I just I know baseball. I love doing these videos, but I'm not the be all and end all of MLB knowledge here. Why is St. Louis's lineup not better than it has been so far this year? I don't exactly have an answer for it. My point is leaning St. Louis first 3 and first 5 in this one, and I guess team total over as well.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here with Ian Anderson either. His fastball velocity is down 0.8 miles per hour. So there's no huge dip there. So I can't figure it out. We know he's a big game pitcher. So what the hell's going on with him? He's been terrible at home. He's been terrible in every single way. So
could be pitch tipping, Jim. Although I would think that if that was the case, then they would have found out about it by now. But that would be an answer. I'm not saying that's what the answer is, but that is an answer that would solve the equation.
And then we're sitting here in this game with, why did I think there was more? 45. Wow, there's been a move here. So 45% of the tickets are on St. Louis. So the public's still sort of on Atlanta, but 66% of the cash. So big bets are coming in on St. Louis. But there's only been a 5-cent move towards them. Shout out to our guy Top Set in the house, being milking these bookies, sharing some of the love, which you don't have to do, Top Set. All we want is your pockets to grow. That's all we want here. But thank you so much, man. That means a ton. Old Buck Knife. My guy Elio in the house. Turnsy says Rusty Kuntz, play of the day. Blue Jays first 5 over 4.5. Rusty Kuntz back in. And that game pops up at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, so we'll talk about that spot here in a little bit.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. Do you mind if we pull in the expert for just 30 seconds to get his take on St. Louis's lineup?
Let's get his take. Joining
expert,
us now.
Please come in for a second. Just 15 seconds. Should St. Louis's lineup not be at least a little bit, if not way, better than they've been?
Well, Pete, let's find out why these reasons are. I'll look up some splits for you in the last couple of weeks. We're talking about Ian Anderson. He's a righty. They're 19th against righties. They've been about average, 98 weighted runs created plus, and it really has been a Nolan Arenado thing. I think he's cooled down, thus meaning the whole lineup cools down. And I'm gonna look up their lineup right now again, or at least it'll be a projected lineup, not official for RotoWire. their lineup has never been outstanding to me, Pete. Truthfully, I mean, you've got Tommy Edmonds, fine. They've got RotoWire has Brandon Donovan at left field. He's not very, good. Nolan Gorman is fine. Juan Yepes is fine. Dylan Carlson's fine. It's just a bunch of average guys, and then Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado in it. Now they want Nolan Gorman to be really good as well, and him and Mackenzie Gore are going to cost me money when O'Neal Cruz doesn't win the NL Rookie of the Year because of them, those bastards. But I do think that this, it truthfully to me, the Cardinals smashing lefties the way they were was more surprising to me. That was the more surprising thing to me, and that was the thing, doing this day in and day out. I didn't do it last year, but last year was the big thing, and I was always a little perplexed or puzzled why that could have been. But it seems to me that this is just them coming back down to where they should be, because they've always been like a pitching first organization, Yeah. There's my 30-second analysis there.
Thank you very much. Great to have an extra call on. Go ahead, Jim.
Included in this analysis, by the way, Mike M. Pimp Slap play of the day is St. Louis first 5+1/2, and he's been running hot. Jose, are you moving on this Cardinals Braves game?
No. I'm in the process of capping the rest of the games right now. That's what I do in the background. So writing down pitchers, way to run created plus stats, all that good stuff. So I don't have an official look on it yet. But Ian Anderson's struggles are concerning. You guys are right about that. And I have not read the right piece or has heard the right information that has told me why Ian Anderson could be struggling. At the end of the day, it just comes down to location. You said it about his velocity. I'm sure that you could look at his spin rates as well. They haven't probably dropped that much as well as the velocity. So it's just control, and then that's really what it comes down to,
All right, Jim, you can throw me on St. Louis first 3 innings plus 115. St. Louis first 3 plus 115.
Cards first 3 plus 115 for Pete. I get it, but I'm a little hesitant just because of the market. But I get it. There we have it. Pete, Cards first 3 plus 115. We roll on, and Jose, you got something to add, my man?
No, we roll.
Okay, we roll on. Chicago Cubs at Milwaukee Brewers, which brings us to finally Jason Alexander on the hill for the Milwaukee Brewers. Jason Alexander. That one is tough. I don't know if that gives us the best idea. I like it. I think we need one with George's face. I thought we had one with George's face. Do you know that? Like, when you see that picture, Pete, do you know exactly who that is?
No, I look at that picture and I think this is probably one of the guys from the Sesh show, from the new Sesh show that you all love so much. I'm like, yeah, probably one of those dudes. I don't know. I have no idea who that is. Who is that? Oh, that's the actual guy. That's Jason Alexander. Okay, got it now.
Yeah, that's Jason Alexander on the actor Jason Alexander's body, but it's hard to tell. It's not, it's not as simple as like this. You get it. You feel it right away. It's his best work. It's his best work. And he does it here with. I don't think this works, man. I think we need the baseball player's body. And
I disagree. The Cream Machine looks great. He looks great.
But you can't tell that's Cosmo Kramer's body. I mean, you can't.
I couldn't tell who that is if you showed me the full picture anyways.
It's not working, man. It's not. You got to do the opposite of what we're doing here. Okay, but let's get back to work here. Cubs, Brewers, Kyle Hendricks going up against Jason Alexander. The whole idea is to have the actor's face on the baseball player's body, so but it's all good. It's don't worry. Jason Alexander going up against Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks 4-6, 4.76 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 62 Ks and 22 walks, 14 home runs allowed in 81 and a third. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 1 walk, and a 15-7 win at home versus the Reds. On the road, he's been better than he's been at home, not by much. 2-3, 4.54 ERA, 250 opponents batting average. Going up against Jason Alexander, 2-0, 3.82 ERA, 1.70 WHIP. 15 Ks and 13 walks, but he's only allowed 2 home runs in 30 and 2/3. He gets soft contact. So his last start was June 23rd. His last appearance was June 30th. His last appearance was an 8-7 loss at the Pirates. He went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, no walks. His last start, June 23rd, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks, in a 6-4 win at home over the Cardinals. Gotta stay focused here. I think that I love the story of Jason Alexander, but I'm not sure if it can continue here, but I'm a little hesitant to fade him. Cubs versus righties, 250, 721 OPS. Brewers versus righties, 242, 749 OPS. Cubs, 4.49 ERA, 1.32 WHIP in their bullpen with 17 of 30 converted saves, where the Brewers bullpen is strong, 3.48 ERA, a 1.21 WHIP. They've converted 32 of 40 save opportunities. So let's start with the weather, 73 Fahrenheit. Actually, there's a 29% chance of rain. It's going to, the roof will probably be closed at least to start, you would think, here. And then let's move over to the line history in this Brewers Cubbies divisional battle here. Hendricks, Alexander. We have a 10-cent move to the Chicago Cubs. And then from a total perspective, it opened up at 8.5, went to 9, is back at 8.5. It is juiced to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in this one. 5,169 tickets in. 20% of the tickets and 60% of the cash are on the Cubs. 52% tickets on the under. So will Hendricks continue to pitch well here? Pistol Pete, take it away. Cubbies Brew Crew.
Man, tough one. Chef Big Hat says, good evening from Istanbul, low bag worldwide. Shout out. I know where that is.
Nice.
Educated guy. Nice. This is I guess this is a tough one. I mean, Hendricks is a bit of a wild card. He got hit in his only start at Milwaukee this year. 3 of his last 4 starts were great. Not sure I trust him here. And Jason Alexander, another big sinker baller. When he's on his game, a lot of grounders and very good. A little hard to predict how likely he'll do here. And everyone talks about the Milwaukee pen, which is, admittedly, a nice pen, but I have them as roughly a wash with the Cubs. The Cubs have a pen that's no huge edge for Milwaukee in terms of the pen. Wow. Very, very low confidence all around here. At the low line, I gotta be thinking Milwaukee. It's Hendricks is a big wild card, but he's maybe in the downside of his career, maybe a little bit more vulnerable on the road against lineups that should be able to get to him a bit. So I would be maybe thinking about Milwaukee here, -1.
Wow. Interesting. See, Hendricks has been good of late.
Yeah.
And I don't trust this lineup. Like, who are we afraid of? Yelich hitting 233 against him. Urias 211. Tella's 250.
Yeah, and I fully admit that Milwaukee, some teams you have a great read on, some teams you just feel snake bit on, and Milwaukee is one of those teams. When they were losing, I was on them every game. When they were winning, I wasn't on them, and Hader's blown 1 save all year long or something like that. That 1 save cost me like $400,000 or $5,000 or something. So yeah, it was. I'm snake bit with Milwaukee. I guess I'll pass on this one just because there is uncertainty all around. My stats and my gut tell me that it's not a great spot for Hendricks, though. So slightly even to Milwaukee team total over, but I guess I'm not going to take that.
Really? Because it just feels for me like finally Hendricks is locked in. And I don't fear this Milwaukee Brewers lineup. And Alexander is not in his routine.
Yeah. I mean, they got some okay guys. They got Yelich. They got Teles. They got, Adamez. They got some guys. Not great. They got some guys.
Yeah, I don't trust their lineup, but their numbers are much better than I would expect. So here, if I wanted to move on the Cubs' first 5 and Hendricks, believing that Alexander may struggle a little bit, not being in his routine and the luster of his, getting the undrafted pitcher in the majors is kind of over. And Okay, I'm going to move on the Cubs first 5. Let me just go back to the. Yes, I'm going to move on the Cubs first 5. I'm going to move on the Cubs first 5. This will be an addition for me. Cubs first 5. It's at plus 100 right now at Bet 365. What is it at Pinnacle? I'd be very interested in here. I'm in with a know your client situation with Pinnacle, so I'm going to be rolling with them very soon. 10 Cubs plus 113 on the full game, first half plus 102.
Pete, do you recognize this guy?
Let me see. I'm looking at numbers here. This is such a tough card, Jose. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. I know who that guy is. That's Woodruff. That's Woodruff.
Yeah, that's Can't stand your Woodruff. All right, I'm moving on the Cubbies first 5, and this will be in addition to my card. Let's roll on. Next up, 8:10 p.m. Eastern, the Kansas City Royals at the Houston Astros, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. The Enigma is Zach Greinke going up against his former team. Let's take a look at the. Well, first, the roof will be closed, I imagine. Jose, you can back that up if possible. Deacon says Jimmy betting the Cubs. Guess that means I'll have to bet it. I like it. Let's go. Eddie Euler liking the Royals plus 1.5 at plus 107. Kansas City, Houston under 8.5. And let's go. Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas. We're gonna start with the line history here.
Roof closed.
Roof closed. Beautiful as we hoping and expecting. Greinke versus Garcia. We have a 20-cent move to the Houston Astros. They opened up minus 225. They're now minus 245. We go to a total. Opened up 8, minus 115 to the over. It's 5-cent move to the over. Nothing big there. Now let's go to the cash. 6,708 tickets in. We have 12% of the tickets on Kansas City and 55% of the cash with a 20-cent move to the Astros. 28% of tickets on the under, and 86% of the cash is on that under. So expecting nice starts from both of these pitchers. Greinke coming off a nice start himself, but that was at home.
Yeah.
He's been very good at home. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 2-1 win at home versus the Rangers. It's on the road where he's been a problem. 0-3, 6.90 ERA, 294 opponent's batting average. Going up against Luis Garcia. His last start, a 2-1 win at home versus the Yankees. He was very good. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was solo shot, 6 Ks, 2 walks. He's 3.54 ERA, 1.06 whip on the year. Royals rating 239, 669 OPS versus righties, and the Astros are so streaky against righties, but they're hitting them of late. 240, 743 OPS, and the Royals bullpen allows 2.1 runs more per 9 innings than the Astros bullpen. Wow. 4.72 ERA, 1.48 whip. Converted 17 28 saves. That's not terrible. The Astros bullpen, though, 2.62 ERA, 1.11 whip, converted 23 of 29 saves. Danzo says, I love Greinke facing his old team, the Astros. One of the true pitchers left in the league. Not a thrower. Never walks anybody. I love him. And John Todd says, I think the under is the play for first 5. You can get a 4.5. And Nikolai Jubinski says, Greinke looks like every kid I've had a problem with my whole life. Oh, no. Oh, no. Take it away here, Pete. Royals, Astros.
Yeah, I mean, not factoring in the Greinke pitching against his old team issue, the Astros just have a huge edge statistically in all areas. Bullpen edge, starting pitching edge, not counting the intangible factor of going against KC. Fielding even, it's just a huge edge for Houston. The line has moved in their favor since opening. I believe. And so you're saying that money's coming in on KC? Yeah,
it's a huge. The ticket size are small right now. We're at 6,821 tickets, but 12% of the tickets, 55% of the cash.
Mm-hmm.
And then with all the money coming in on the under, it's telling me that both pitchers are going to pitch well here. That's what the market is indicating.
Might tell me that Garcia is going to pitch well. I'm not sure if I would be leaning Houston here. -1 is minus 188, but the statistical advantage, according to what I'm looking at, in all areas is just really, really big. So when you play 9 innings again, and Greinke, he's been terrible on the road this year. Not sure what to think here.
Yeah, I can understand having a pause here. And there's not a ton of history against Greinke. Altuve, 26 at-bats, hitting 385 against him. I mean, they know him, obviously, from when he pitched over there. So KC batters against Garcia, they get to him. Merrifield, 375, even though I don't know if you can trust Merrifield's stick this year. Then Nicky Lopez, 3 for 6 with a jack. Hard to imagine Nicky Lopez being able to attack a pitcher, but he seemed to be able to attack Luis Garcia.
Danzo, Astros partying on a holiday last night at the titty bars. Casey's going to ruin everyone's day.
Wow. Interesting.
Wallaby King. I always think Garcia's going to get slapped, and it never seems to happen. Yeah, he's a tricky one to cap for sure. Dom Ricci lean is under.
I can't. John Todd, I don't dislike it at all. The problem with me is I'm trying to find spots to go because after getting smacked in the mouth Friday, I'm trying to find spots where everything correlates. And here, everything would correlate for either a first 5 under or believing in the Royals, maybe first 5 plus a half, except Greinke is just being destroyed on the road. Why would I sit here and go, oh, this is going to be different because he used to pitch for the team? I can't stand on that ledge. And also, Houston has a ferocious lineup, of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know what I'll be on by first pitch, but all signs point to Houston, despite the fact that big money has come in on Casey, and despite the fact that Houston's a super obvious play.
Well, I'm not comfortable, but in saying that, to me, if I was going to read into what this market is telling me, it's telling me that Greinke's going to pitch well here.
Mm-hmm.
And, for Luis Garcia, he goes up against the New York Yankees. It's packed. It's so important. And he pitches great. Then the Royals come in. I mean, it's possible that he lets his guard down a little bit. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen in baseball, which is why a lot of times people are like, no baseball team should ever be a minus 240 favorite ever.
Yeah. Let's go back. I just wanted to see what I'd be getting here if I was to have the balls to back Greinke. So, first 5, alternate line, first 5 plus a half at plus 125.
I don't know, Jim. I when I look at this game, I think high volatility, not low. Not trying to take you off of it. I'm just telling you
makes sense.
Opinions here. That's what we do here.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but the total just 8. Roof closed, but I hear you. I hear you. God. So I was on the fence on a bunch of bets on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be having a nice week. I was in my high water mark. It was a holiday. It was Canada Day, and I was like, let's go for it. And it just blew up in my face, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm going to put a bunch of question marks here, but I have some interest in the Royals early. But I just can't. Why bother? Why am I going to say, I think his performance will be better here when he's got a 6.90 ERA on the road? Okay, I'm off of it. Let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. I probably would have bet this game already had the market been moving towards this ball club, but it hadn't moved towards the Twins. And I was like, it gives me the opportunity to talk it out. We'll see if the market has now moved towards the Twins. I've been very impressed with Archer. Now, he did walk 6 batters in his last start, 5-3 loss at the Guardians. But I was going to move on him first 5 at plus 135. I got off of him because of his splits. And because of his because of his daytime splits. He would be so bad in the daytime, and I guess that got in my head. And then I went with the full game over 8.5, and it ended at 8, and it was a loss. In saying all that, I've been very impressed with Archer, and even the fact that he walked 6 and was still able to take care of it. I mean, his pitch count was elevated. But I've been impressed with him. Twins, White Sox, and especially after the gaffe from the White Sox yesterday. I know I don't care what happened yesterday in baseball unless it's a travel situation. But that triple play that they did, I mean, it's a 2-2 game in the 7th inning against a team that's leading your division. And Moncada, I mean, you guys, it looked like fucking Little League out there. It looked worse than Little League. It looked like tight baseball with these idiots on the base paths. And the reason why it pissed me off is because I got the White Sox to win the division, and it was just a debacle. And anybody who had money on the White Sox, when you see your team, be that stupid on the base paths, you're in big, big trouble. Ron Crawford says, stay the hell away from the Twins after 5. Talking about this bullpen. And watching Rocco Baldelli make the decisions with the bullpen, it's confounding. He uses the bullpen as if he has no faith in anybody. Wallaby King says, saw that triple play live. Twins and under survived. Oh, it sure did. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the situation here and then hand it over to Pete. First, we'll start off with the weather. 80 Fahrenheit. Feels like 84 and rain in the forecast early. 6.7 miles per hour out to right, and the rain is supposed to stop. So rain, a possible issue here in Twins White Sox. Let's go over to the line history in this one. Why can't I find? Here we go. Archer, Kopech, and still no movement. So there was an initial move towards the White Sox, and it came back to the Twins. Now it's just back where it started. Let's take a look at the total here. Opened up at 9, jumped to 9.5 this morning, came back to 9, and then an hour ago moved back to 9.5. So we're back at 9.5, juice to the under at minus 120. Take a look at where the cash lies in this one here. Line value, a 5th line value on the Twins. Only 3,972 tickets in. 49% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on the White Sox. So bigger bets are coming in on the White Sox. 57% of tickets on the over. We don't have a sign for the cash at this point. And Ronnie Berger says that's what happened to him. He said killed it Friday, Saturday, went for it yesterday and got slaughtered. Well, you know what, Ronnie? It's a mistake we can't let happen again. We know the situation. It was a holiday. We wanted the extra fun, and we have to be consciously aware of it as we move forward. Because I haven't made a baseball bet since. I've been beating myself up, for 3 days for it. Archer, we talked about him. He's been good this year. And he's been better on the road than he's been at home. 2.70 ERA. Opponents hitting just 198 against him. Kopech has not looked very good his last few starts, and you brought it to our attention, Pete. You were saying he's looking a little vulnerable, that something might be wrong with Kopech. He's been good all year at home. 1-2, 2.08 ERA. Opponents hitting 0.97. Opponents hitting just 0.97 batting average against him. But his last start, he didn't look good. It's been 3 starts now. Last start, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 which were in, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 4-1 loss at the Angels. Twins hit righties hard, 252, 743 OPS. The White Sox do not, 246, 658 OPS. Twins bullpen 3.78 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. From the eye test, are not to be trusted, but the numbers aren't bad. White Sox bullpen 4.22 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, converted 24-38, and we thought this would be a top 5 bullpen this year. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Twinkies, White Sox.
Yeah, an interesting one. Yeah, Archer gets in trouble and then bails himself out, and that's not a huge surprise. He has a really effective slider which he can call on when he needs it, so that partially explains it. And Kopech, I actually do think this is a bounce back spot a little bit for Kopech and for the White Sox. Kopech, he might be better, I don't know, as a reliever at some point in the near future. So I'm not sure. He might get into trouble against this lineup a little bit later in the game, but I'm going to actually take a shot with White Sox first 3. I think Kopech is pissed. I think he has the stuff to have a nice, at least 3 inning appearance here. And Archer, yeah, as you said, control issues, that's concerning. And the White Sox have a lineup that can manufacture runs if they need. And I'm going to take the White Sox first 3 innings minus 130, current line at Will Hill. I understand the treachery there. In general, I would rate the Twins lineup as a notch, maybe even notch and a half or 2 better than the White Sox. And Kopech, I think, yes, is vulnerable as like a 6-inning starter in general, especially right now. But in this spot, looking over the numbers and everything, taking it all in, I'm going to take a shot with the White Sox first 3 minus 130.
Well, if you believe that Kopech could have a nice start here at home, where he's been so good this year, 0.97, and I like what I've been seeing from Archer, that makes me think that the first 5 under 5 at minus 115 is in play. I'm going to move over to Kopech here just so I can get a better idea of what's gone on these last 3 games. And what starts of these last 3 games happened at home?
Except that either of these guys can get lit up at any point, and both of these teams have lineups that can light a guy up at any point. So it's all about honesty. We don't censor ourselves in this show, Jimmy the Bag. I'm just telling you my thoughts on this game and this matchup.
No, it's very, very, very helpful.
Yeah.
No question about it. T-Max says, I feel Archer pitches well against good teams and not so much against weaker teams. Let's go over to the batter versus pitcher before I decide to pull the trigger on this here. So not a ton against Kopech, and only one guy's hit Kopech in the entire lineup. That's Luis Arise. And then a ton of history against Archer. Seems like Archer's pitching different right now, though. Really does.
Yeah, I mean he's a fine pitcher in general, but again, big slider guy, so that can cause a little bit more wear and tear on the arm than other pitches. And in his last start, only gave up 1 run in 4 innings, but 6 walks. Excuse me, 6 walks in 4 innings. Okay, not a great sign to see there, Jim.
No, but and I guess it's the right team because you got to pitch around Jose Ramirez. But that's still, you shouldn't be sitting here with 6 walks.
Sure.
I have interest. I think the first 5 under 5 makes sense to me here. It's a nice big number, and we don't have a cash amount on the under, and 57% tickets are on the over. But that doesn't scare me too much. The reason why I'm going to now it's. Again, we talk about bankroll management, bet size appropriately, and if this doesn't go through, it doesn't. But it's because you like White Sox first 3. Well, if you like White Sox first 3, I like the way Archer's pitching, even though he's walked too many batters. But I did not expect him to be this good.
But also, you need to see the full picture. The full picture is I've been hemorrhaging units and profits in MLB the past week or so, Jim.
You needed to come back to us. That's all.
Take that into consideration there, pal.
You've been winning. You've been winning on this show, working with the great cappers in the chat. So,
yeah,
okay.
I might be like a starter who got shelled for 8 runs in his past 2 starts, and now it's a bounce back spot for me on the show. Loshak in the Bag here at Pub Sports Radio. Yeah, first 3 minus 130. I'll take it.
The Chameleon says the weather's not going to be good. Eddie Ola says showers and thunderstorms likely in the White Sox game. Tommy Gunn reaches his last 10 games at home, 8-1-1 plus 8 units with a 65% ROI to the over in the first 5. Rob Free says 3 of those walks were back to back to back. Then he got pulled versus Guardians. Twins bullpen then went on to lose as usual. Repula Gaming says don't be greedy for that plus money. Greinke's old and bad on the road. Repula Gaming, I did not move on Greinke. The end of the whole breakdown was just that I can't get past his road stats. So, and I'm not going to try to get past him. I'm not going to take the other side. So don't, but thank you. And I love you, Repulate Gaming. Nice to have you back in action with us. Topset says my only lean is White Sox first 5. He's been the hottest capper of all of us, by the way, Pete. He's been Topset, Elio.
No. Oh, shout out to Topset. Shout out to Topset. Hell yeah.
All right.
And there you go. My only lean is White Sox first 5. But that has nothing to do with my excited shout out to Topset. Even if he was on the Guardians, I would still be shouting him out in a huge way.
Okay, let's move on. We have 3 games left on this card. Then we are joined by Parlay Teece for a best bet in WNBA. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 40-38, 19-18 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 36-44, 20-22 at home. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We made a big bet on the Giants team total under this year. And feels real good. I really like it. I feel very good about it. And this last little run for them has made me like it even more. Ron Crawford, you did not miss your birthday pick, my friend. You did not miss it. It's just that for Pete, he needs to marinate in all of the juices, before he gives one of these out, because he cares very much about them, and I love that he does. All right, so Diamondbacks roof closed. I'm not going to check. It's going to be hot. Roof closed. Wood versus Tyler Gilbert. Let's go to line history first and foremost. Line history in this Wood Gilbert spot. And we have a 5-cent move to the Giants. A 5-cent move to the Giants. This total opened up at 10. moved to 9.5, and is now at 9. So we've moved a full run to the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. And let's move this over here. Let's move the cash flow. We have, again, as I said, the second highest line value on the card. So when this, because these things changed, I don't exactly understand how, but when I did refresh it, there had been a change, and Lodolo and the Reds were given full line value. Gilbert and the Diamondbacks, half line value. Nobody else has more than slivers. And we have just 2,660 tickets in. 36% of the tickets, 42% of the cash on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Remember the 5-cent move towards the Giants. Then we have 24% of the tickets and 54% of cash on the under, and it's moved a full run to the under. Dommy Gun says, Archer pitched when I was on with Jim. When Dommy Gun was our special guest on the show, he said, pitched better than I expected, but still has less Ks and more walks than usual. I rarely like the White Sox, but like them here a lot. That's got to be music to Loshak's ears. Alex Wood, 5-7, 5.03 ERA, 1.36 whip, 73 1/3, 71 Ks, 20 walks, 8 home runs. I think my best work of the entire year was that last opportunity Alex Wood had against, was it Ronnie Garcia? Because Alex Wood had those 2 terrible road starts in a row, but I kept saying, look at his home starts. Look at his home starts. His last 2 home starts were excellent, and then we cashed the first 5 under. We cashed the Tigers' first 5 plus a half. It was I guess I ended up going on the full game under. I didn't want to double up, but we cashed that too. It was a 3-2 final. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, no walks. But now he's on the road where he's 3-4 with a 5.59 ERA. Opponents hitting .257 against him. Tyler Gilbert on the other side, his last start, he lasted just an inning and 2/3. That's it. Did not look good. 5 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned, 2 homers, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and 14-8 loss at the Reds. It's wild, this Tyler Gilbert with a 7.88 ERA, 1.44 whip. That the bigger bets have come in on Arizona. Giants versus lefties, 232, 714 OPS. Diamondbacks versus lefties, 227, 665 OPS. Giants bullpen, 4.21 ERA, 1.32 whip, converted 17 27. Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.36 ERA, 1.39 whip, converted 17 of 26. Take it away here, Pete. Giants, Diamondbacks.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay off of this one. On Sunday, I was all over the Giants when they lost 13-4. Then I came back the next day and was on them again at Arizona and lost again with them. There's something, I mean, they're admitting it. They're admitting that there's something wrong with the team. And they can't, put their finger on it. If you gave me a free bet, of course, I would take Arizona here as a huge home dog. But I think I'm just going to stay off this game. If Nutflush Allen came in and gave a confident opinion one way or the other, I'd probably tail it. But barring that, it's going to be a pass for me. Something is clearly wrong with San Francisco, and at some point that will probably change. When, I'm not sure. Right now, I feel very uncomfortable with this team, and I'm going to pass on this game.
Yeah, I guess the first loop thrown is this total goes from 10 to 9. So they think that there'll be a nice performance from Wood on the road, something that he's not done this year. So that's confusing. Then there's also hope in Tyler Gilbert. A pitcher who's not showing much of anything in his career. It was down in the PCL league this year and got destroyed in the PCL league. 4-4 with a 7.57 ERA. I know that's hard to quantify because of how offensive that league is, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to do with him. This is very, very, very confusing. Rob Free says Kapler overmanages his team way too much for my liking. He's a major concern.
Yeah, I mean, really, the play pretty clearly here is Arizona as a huge dog, and if San Francisco's struggles continue, you cash. If they turn it around unexpectedly on a dime for this game, great, and you eat the loss. But there's no way this team should be a road favorite of this big of a line in light of what they've been doing recently. And there you go, Top Set, echoing what I just said. Hell yeah, shout out Top Set.
All right, we move on. We have 2 games left, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, and our guy Turnsey back in action. And he is moving on this spot. Blue Jays first 5 over 4.5 at -105. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day. Sunnyvale Trailer Park said I had A's money line last night. Thinking of doing the first 5 on them again. All right. And as Eddie Euler brings us, it's Cooch Day. John Todd says, I'm taking my boys' first 5. It is what it is. Go Giants. Don't lay off. It will pay off, says our guy, John Todd. Okay. Let's talk about this Jays-A's spot. We'll start with the weather in Oakland. It is 67 Fahrenheit, 10.6 miles per hour out to right. Dies down to 8.2 miles an hour. I apologize for the sound in the background. We are moving, and I guess some of that work is being done right now. Let's go over to the line history here. Just a sec. 1 second. Okay, let's go with the line history here. We have the Jays opening up at -170 now, -175, a 5-cent move towards them. From a total perspective, open up at 8 and move to 8.5 an hour and 10 minutes ago. A move to 8.5. Let's look at where the cash lies in this spot. Jays, A's. We have 5,560 tickets in. 84% of the tickets, 89% of the cash on the Jays. 81% of tickets, 91% cash on the over, and it's since moved a half run up. Kikuchi is a tricky pitcher to figure out. And speaking of top set, he's locked in with Kikuchi. He said Kikuchi was going to have a bounce back start last out. It was a 4-1 win at home versus the Rays. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. 8 Ks, 1 walk. It was very well done. Top says I'm on this Blue Jays team. Here comes another winning streak. Wow. Another winning streak. That would be music to our ears here. We're now just 7 games over 500, and we're playing 500 baseball on the road. On the road, speaking of the road, Kikuchi 0-2, 5.04 ERA, and opponents hitting 286 off him. Going up against Adrian Martinez, 25-year-old from Mexicali, Mexico. He was, better than Tyler Gilbert in the minors, but he was bad in AAA this year, and he's come up and he's not been good here. His first start was nice, but that was in Detroit. He slowed them down. I don't have the stats in front of him, but he had a good start there. Then his last start was ugly. 8-6 loss at the Mariners. And Dom Ricci was all over him getting touched. And touched is exactly what happened. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Jays versus righties, 257, 756 OPS. A's versus lefties, 219, 629 OPS. Jays bullpen, 4.34 ERA, 1.29 whip, converted 23 of 38. A's bullpen, 4.36 ERA, 1.42 whip, converted 17 of 31. I don't know what to do here with this spot. Don Ricci says, Jimmy, same thing Kikuchi last start when I was on. Went 2-2 on the show. Elio was spot on that last start. Take it away here, Pete. I'm not rushing to back the Blue Jays here, but hearing Elio saying winning streak about to start makes me think that maybe the price is right here because it's not expensive. Take it away, Pete. A's, Jays.
The price on Toronto is not expensive.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe it moved because I was seeing them as like close to a -180 favorite. Where's the line right now? Overnight it was open.
Yeah, it's moved -175. I thought it had only moved. Let me go back to this. Yeah, no, it's moved 5. I mean, considering how bad the A's are, I don't think that's that expensive to fade them. A -1 line.
Yeah.
But
as we know, Oakland, similar to Pittsburgh, is a place where, big offenses can be neutralized a bit. And now you got 2 highly, highly hard to predict pitchers. Obviously, Kikuchi off of a great start, but before that had been getting touched. And Adrian Martinez, I say it all the time, it's a big-time sinker baller. So, when the first start in the majors, when his sinker was working, it lights out. Then the next time around, it wasn't working, and he got crushed. Yeah, in the minors, his numbers weren't good, but as you know, Jimmy the Bag, he was pitching in the PCL, so he got, a decent amount of strikeouts there. Not great numbers, but a little bit forgivable. But clearly, when his stuff is working, he can get out major league lineups, and he did it in his first, his first appearance this year. What percentage of that? What percentage of his starts is that going to happen? I'm not exactly sure, but it's certainly something that he's capable of. And as a huge underdog, I wouldn't really want to fade that one. I might have a play on this one by first pitch, but I'd be very, very, very nervous about taking Toronto here. On the other hand, I think there's high volatility. So as usual, any bet that I made, I would try to get as big of a dog line as possible. High volatility with both lineups and with both starting pitchers here. It's an interesting game.
I don't know if I want to have anything to do with the Jays turning around right here. I'm not saying that they won't, but I don't want to be first in line. That's all.
I mean, betting on them to turn it around on the road at Oakland as a huge favorite with Kikuchi starting, just because Kikuchi's off of one good start, makes me very, very nervous. And in fact, if you gave me a free play, I'd probably put it on Oakland here.
JP says A's with their 9th home win of the season. They had a little holiday crowd yesterday. Don't bet on this to continue.
Yeah.
Top that says Coochie feels less stress here. A's bats are sleeping. All right, I don't want to be first in line here. Let's move on to the final game on the MLB card before we go into WNBA. That's 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies 35-45, 12-24 on the road at the LA Dodgers 50-29, 14-13 at home. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Let's take a look at the weather in Chavez Ravine. I just immediately go back to getting egged on Echo Park Boulevard. You know, the gift I was given, Pete, from my friend. My friends thought it was the funniest thing that I'd been egged. They couldn't stop laughing. They laughed all that night when I told them the story. They just laughed for 2 or 3 hours. And then the gift that my friend Damon gave me was a rape whistle. He gave me a bright orange rape whistle. And they called me R-Dub. R-Dub. I was R-Dub for the rest of that trip down there. Bright orange rape whistle for me. That was the gift. Rockies, Dodgers. Let's start with the weather here. 74 Fahrenheit, 8.5 miles per hour out to right field, goes down to 5.9 miles per hour. It's warm in LA. Let's go to the line history in this one. Marquez versus White. We have a 15-cent move to the Dodgers. Was a 20-cent move and has come back. Then we have the 8.5 opening as a pick'em, 5-cent move to the over. 5-cent move to the over. Then let's take a look at where the cash lies in this. We have 6,103 tickets in. Listen to this, Pete. 25% of the tickets on the Rockies and 73% of the cash.
Okay.
24% of the tickets on the under and 61% of the cash on that under. So there's a belief here that Marquez is going to have another nice start. And I shouldn't say another because his last start was at home versus the Dodgers, and he got touched by them. 3 1/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 3 walks, and 8.4 loss. 5.89 ERA, 1.54 whip. But he's been better on the road than he has been at home. 3-3, 4.21 ERA, points hitting 239 against them. Mitch White, 3.93 ERA, 1.19 whip. In his last start, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk at home versus the Padres. Rockies versus righties, 245, 690 OPS. Dodgers versus righties, 254, 771 OPS. Rockies bullpen, 4.74 ERA, 1.37 whip. Have converted 21 of 27 save opportunities. Dodgers bullpen, 3.36 ERA, 1.13 whip. They've converted the same amount of save opportunities as the Rockies, 21 for 30. Take it away here, Pete. Rockies, Dodgers.
Yeah, this is similar to the Houston game. Marquez, I predicted that he would go on the DL. That did not happen. You know, he's been okay, nothing special for sure, but not a disaster. But again, there's just statistically what I'm looking at, just a significant to big edge for the Dodgers in all areas, and even statistically, I'd give a small edge to White as well. Major bullpen edge to the Dodgers, and even a not insignificant fielding edge to the Dodgers as well. Lineup edge. I'll probably be on Dodgers -1. I don't like to hear that there's a huge amount of bigger money on Colorado. I mean, it makes some sense as the line climbs. I'm not one of those guys. I'll probably be on the Dodgers -1, but I'm not going to give that officially. But my numbers indicate small value with the Dodgers, even at the current line. That might be wrong, but that's what they say.
I would have interest in them getting to Marquez and taking the Rockies very seriously after what the Rockies have done to them this year. But with all those big bets already on the Rockies, I'm going to stay off. All right, let's review all action here on Venezuelan Independence Day. We have spreadsheet play of the day is on these Miami Marlins. Spreadsheet play of the day on the Marlins, 10-1-1 run for the spreadsheet. Pete's on the Marlins first 3. I'm on the Marlins The first 5 minus half plus 100. Pete's also on the Angels' first 5 team total under 1.5 and no run first inning. Then I forgot to talk about that Mariners Padres game. Jose's play of the day number 1 is Mariners first 5 plus 118. Mets Reds, we stayed off. Scherzer Lodolo for B-Lab, who tracks full line value. Lodolo and these Reds have full line value.
Wow.
B-Lab, I wonder if B-Lab, are you on Twitter? Let me know if you're on Twitter as well. Jose say, hey, play of the day number 2 is Pirates team total over 3.5 at plus 107. I'm going to move on the over 9. I hope the juice hasn't gone too far in that game. Rangers Orioles, we stayed off. Pete's on the Phillies -1 at minus 112. He's on the Cleveland first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 105. I'm going to be on the first 5 over 4.5. Let me just grab Ragu's action here. Then Taint play of the day is Tampa Bay Boston first 5 under 5, and Pete's on no run first inning at plus 106. Pete's on the Cards first 3 at plus 115. Mike M's Pimp Slap play of the day, St. Louis first 5 plus a half. I'm going to add the Cubs first 5 at plus 100. Royals Astros, no moves for us. Pete's on the White Sox first 3 at minus 130. I'm going to move on the first 5 under 5. Giants Diamondbacks, no action. I just got scared after saying that out loud, but I'm going to trust Kopech to get right here in the start against the rival. We'll see. Rusty Kuntz play today. Blue Jays first 5 over 4.5 at minus 105. We stayed off of Rockies Dodgers, and let's take a look at what our guy Big Ragu is on. He's on the Rays first 5 at plus 110. Syndergaard over 4.5 Ks at plus 115. Greinke over 3.5 Ks at plus 115. Giants minus 1.5 at a pick'em. And the
wow,
Rockies,
really? Big Ragu's on the Giants, huh?
And the Rockies first 5 at plus 185. Arlen, no, I don't use Vegas Insider, but lots of great stuff there. Lots of great stuff. So I've used it before, but I hadn't been using it, no. And lots of great stuff with Vegas Insider. And I know a lot of cappers use it, love it. So, okay. Sorry, let me copy and paste that, B-Lab, so I can follow you back. And thanks again, B-Lab, for tracking that. It means a ton to us. So I will follow you as soon as the show is over. I'm just using Sports Insights, Arlen, for the ticket count and the cash. There you have it. And again, I got destroyed on Canada today, and I've stayed off since. I'm 165, 145, 53.2% plus 5.3 units. ROI plus 1.71%, average line minus 109. Pistol Pete Loshak 40 and 32, 55.5%, down 0.43 units. ROI minus 0.60%, average line minus 120. And Pete's pulled Pete's how many straight weeks now of positive ROI in MLB here?
I don't know. I'm still
5?
down overall. I'm not in a position where I'm allowed to fillet myself over my record, but hopefully we'll get there, Jim.
We will. Okay.
And thanks for pointing out. I appreciate it.
Well, I've been impressed, as always. I know you're going to end up in the black. Let's move on to WNBA and bring in our WNBA expert coming to us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Please welcome my man Teece to the show. Teece, how are you, my guy?
I'm good, Jimmy. Appreciate you having me on. How you doing, Pistol Pete?
I'm doing okay. The way you mean it, I'm doing great. The way I mean it, I'm snake bitten sports betting, and you saw one of them, right, on Twitter. We were talking about that freaking game under. Great call. Lost in OT. And, in fact, we're going to talk about Connecticut, right? Connecticut had a very low-scoring game recently, didn't they?
Well, I mean, we can talk about either, but.
Yeah, Connecticut, I saw that game. I was like, I love the under, but you know what? I'm going to take first quarter and first half under just to be safe. First quarter and first half go way over. The game goes into OT and still goes way under full game. So I'm snake bitten sports. To answer your question, I'm doing great, but I am snake bit past week or so in sports betting.
All right.
Well, let's see if we can get you guys back into the land of the black. Teece on our show, 6-4, hitting at 60% plus 1.61 units. ROI plus 16.1%. Average line minus 108. But he was 6-2, so he's now 6-4. And I know that grinds his gears He wants to get back in the black here. We're going to start with the 7 p.m. Eastern game. We weren't going to talk about both games just because we want everybody to check out Teece's show here on at 4 p.m. Eastern on Pub Sports Radio. We got next, but Pete does want to talk about that game, so I'd like to touch on it after Teece. And you don't have to make an official play unless you want to.
I mean,
Crawford says
I'll just give my opinion, and then Teece can do that whole thing. Those are some interesting points, Loshak. And if you want to hear my take on Loshak's take, tune in to the WNBA show. That is, blah, blah, blah. That's how you sell it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ron Crawford says Indiana Fever, 7 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Storm, 13-8, just 4-4 on the road, though. At the Indiana Fever, 15-17, 3-7 at home. We're at Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm just giving the line history, and then we'll hear what Pistol Pete has to say before we go over to Teece. This Fever squad opened up at 9.5, plus 9.5, went to 11. And they're back at plus 10.5. So there's been a 1-point move towards the Seattle Storm. That's on the spread. From a total perspective, it opened up at 156.5 and it's just gone up. 157.5, 158.5, 159, and then 40 minutes ago to 159.5. Pistol Pete Loshak, WNBA. Take it away.
Yeah, this is an interesting game. I'm glad I don't have to wait for Teece's WNBA show to hear what he has to say about this one. I was looking at this one. Obviously, Seattle way better and off of a loss. And they played recently. The game was very low scoring. I was looking at this one and thinking my leans were over. My leans were over, and maybe Seattle first half team total over, maybe full game team total over as well. But Seattle first half, I was thinking over in general, and Seattle, if not full game team total over, first half team total over, which would be 42.5 or something like that. My only concern, and Teece will know about this much more than I do, is that there are some injuries for Indiana. Hull, Egbo, and Vivian's all I'm seeing are maybe questionable. Vivian's out, but Hull and Egbo a little bit banged up. So, and they are, they play some decent minutes. So that probably matters. So I was thinking, again, over, and maybe even more so Seattle first half team total over.
What do you have to say about that, Teece? Take it away.
It's disheartening to see Ron and his spreadsheet on the Fever, but I get it. I totally get it. The Fever are going to be tough to back without Queen Egbo. She's in the COVID protocols, so that leaves the Fever without a center. Magbagor, the center for Seattle, she should have a feast today, because the only thing I can see is them sliding Emily Engsler over to the center spot. And, I think that the Seattle Bigs are just going to feast today. The Fever are 7-15 against the spread. They're, their last, I guess they're for the season, and, their last four straight against the spread, they've lost. So it's hard to back them. They're losing by double digits on a regular basis. And but coming back home after a miserable road trip, I can see the Indiana Fever covering this game. But because the Storm, on the other hand, they're 2-9 against the spread on the road. So they're not a good road team covering against the spread, but they're 4-1 against the spread off a loss. So, it's kind of conflicting stats there. This is why I'm not a big stat guy, because you can get lost in these things. So, my take on this game is I think you're going to see a lot of scoring. I agree with the line move, but I'm not touching that full game total, just because I've been terrible totals all year, and when they move my way, I'm even worse. So I'm going to stick with the first half, and I've had pretty good success with the first half, and I'm going to go with the first half over 79.5 in this game. And I'm even looking at the first quarter. That's another one that I'm looking at. I'm going with the first half, but I may be on the first quarter come 4 p.m. when we start we got next. So that's been hitting for me. The first quarter overs have been hitting pretty nicely for me as well.
Teece is on the first half over 79.5 at minus 109 in Storm at Fever. Pete, what would you like to make official, if anything, here?
So you don't think the Egbo and Hall and being out for Indiana is bad for scoring?
No, I don't. I don't, just because of the fact that Kelsey Mitchell. As long as Kelsey Mitchell gets hers, that's the key. If she gets stuck in 2-4 points, then yeah, that total is going to be in trouble. But I think for the game, it may. But for the first half, I think we're gonna get a running offenses on both sides, and you have Brianne January. She's making her last appearance in Indiana tonight, as well as Sue Bird. But this is a more of an emotional game for Brianne January, just because she started her career in Indiana and won a title in Indiana. So I expect the team to get up for her and come out strong. So if I was going to pick a side in this game, I would take Seattle first half. It's a big number. I think they can cover the big number full game, but I'm more comfortable with the 5.5 in the first half than I am taking the 11 or 10.5 full game, or 11, whatever it's at now. But so far, the only official play I have on this game is the first half over.
And I'll go on that as well. You can make that official for me, Jimmy the Bag. First half over 79.5 minus 109. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was leaning over in general. If Seattle does get out to a big lead, who knows what's going to happen in the second half? And yeah, okay. And I was, as I said, I was thinking Seattle team total over as well. First half. 42.5, but yeah, I think I'll just go with the first half over 79.5 minus 109, current line Pinnacle.
All right, both guys are locked in. Pete wanted to talk about the next game, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is available live on Facebook. Connecticut Sun, 14-7, 6-4 on the road at the Dallas Wings, 9-12, 4-7 at home. The Sun have won 2 of 3. We last saw them on Sunday, winning 74-72 at home over Washington. The Wings have lost 3 straight. We last saw them on Friday, losing 97-89 at home to the Sparks. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. And sorry, let me just pull this over here. Here we go. The line history in Connecticut, Dallas. We open up at 5 and we close at 5. But at 9:30 this morning, Connecticut was 6.5-point favorites. But they've come back. We have U-shaped movement. It's slightly juiced to Connecticut, so it opened at 5 at the pick'em. It's now 5 minus 115. And from a look on the total, it opened up at 165. It was at 165 at 10:23 this morning, so it lasted there for 12 hours, and it's dropped 2.5 points since then. In the last 3 hours, it's dropped 2.5 points. It's now at 162.5. Pete, you wanted to touch on this game. Take it away, my man. How do you want to make moves?
Okay, Teece, what time is the show again?
4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m. Eastern. All right, so I'll just give my analysis here. Have a poker face, Teece, so that you don't reveal what you're thinking about what I say. And then after I say what I say, I'll do a nice promo for your show, and people will be able to find out what you think about it. All right, Connecticut and Dallas. Connecticut obviously is the road favorite here, the better team again in that fucking game against Washington. I love the under. But just to be quote unquote safe, which just shows sometimes when you try to be safe, you're fucking yourself big time. I took the first quarter and first half under. Both of those lost by a mile. The game itself went way under despite OT. Unreal. I was absolutely, my overall handicapping was correct. And then my trigger pulling on the bets was dead wrong. Washington is a good team. Sorry, Connecticut is a good team, but they've been a little bit disappointing to start games. And Dallas is clearly overmatched here, I think. In all ways, Connecticut is also a little bit top heavy. They don't rotate as many people, as many women as Dallas does. So I'm thinking that Connecticut, aware of their slow starts, might be a good bet first quarter and first half. And I might make that official even without hearing what Teece has to say about it. But, we might think alike. So I wouldn't be surprised if Teece likes Connecticut first quarter and or first half as well. But again, Connecticut, at least in their starting five, is the far superior team. They've been slow starters on the year. And coming off the OT game against Washington, I think they're gonna be aware of wanting to start out better. I think they'll be able to, and so I'm definitely leaning Connecticut first half, which should be minus 2.5 or 3, and I might make that one official. And Teece could tell you what he thinks about everything I just said, but he's not gonna. But if you want to find out what he has to say about what I just said, tune in to We Got Next, 4 p.m. Eastern time, right here at Pub Sports Radio on YouTube. There you go, Jimmy the Bag.
It was beautifully done. Beautifully done. Let's hear it. Does Teece want to say anything here on this game? You don't have to. You can keep it all in the dark.
If Teece just wants to spill it all right now, he can. Right here on the Loshak in the Bag Show at 1:37 Eastern time at Pub Sports Radio.
Thank you, Pete. Well, I see a couple guys that in the chat here that tune into the show on a daily basis, and G Martinez, one in particular. He probably knows exactly where I'm going in this game without me even saying it. But as far as this game goes, I hear what you're saying on this, Pete, but I can't agree with you on that.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say. Teece, don't tell us what you think unless you think what I said was extremely stupid, and then please just tell me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. If you want to sit backstage or come, I'll sit around backstage afterwards, and I'll tell you where I'm going with it, so you don't.
Yeah.
And give you the reasons why. I mean, I don't have a problem doing that. Everybody else can tune in and look at my beautiful face at 4:00, and
All right.
You
know what I'm going to do, Jimmy the Bag? Instead of betting it right now, I'm going to tune into We Got Next myself at 4 p.m. Eastern time and see what he has to say. There, problem solved. All right. I was just thinking Connecticut is a significantly better team to start. Bam, you take them first half. But that might be wrong. I'm going to tune into We Got Next at 4 p.m. Eastern time and see what Teece has to say about it.
Hey, Pete.
Obviously, he doesn't agree.
Tomorrow, man, might be a good spot to look at the dream tomorrow, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much.
Just to let you know.
All right. There you have it. Our WNBA breakdown halfway finished. And to catch the second half and a possible addition from Teece in that Storm Fever game, check us out 4 p.m. Eastern. But official plays here on the show, Teece first half over 79.5 minus 109 in Storm Fever. Loshak on the same bet. There you go. Teece, my man, thank you for jumping on with us, my guy. Have a great show today and get that cash. Please follow our man Teece on Twitter at Parlay Teece. Selfless capper, just wants more cash in your pocket and a professional gambler at that. Teece, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate everybody coming out in this chat and in my chat, and without you guys, we don't have a platform. So I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you Jimmy, and you Pete for having me on. And let's get back into this winning column, because 2 losses in a row has got me really not happy. so let's get paid today.
I hear you. I've given out 1 birthday pick loss in a row, and I'm fucking furious.
And Jimmy Gomez is in the chat, and you have a birthday pick still to give out. And speaking of which, I think it's time for Here we go. And important guys to give birthday picks for. I think that's added to the pressure, Pistol Pete, Loshak. Our guy, Ron Crawford, celebrating his birthday yesterday, looking for a birthday pick. And overall, you've been very successful with these. So,
I know, of course.
So, Pete, the floor is yours.
Jimmy Gomez is in the comment section.
He is. Jimmy hanging with us? Yeah.
All right, Jim. I'm sorry, man. I told you, it's the thought that counts. But I didn't expect to have to I didn't expect to have to pull the it's the thought that counts card in my apology for the loser. But anyway, happy birthday to you, Jimmy Gomez. All right, Ron Crawford, unreal. What a fucking guy. Ron Crawford, happy birthday, Ron. Thank you so much, Ron Crawford, for being a part of everything we do here. His spreadsheet picks are ridiculous, right, Jimmy the Bag? What are the spreadsheet pick records? Unreal, right?
I don't have them updated. I'm behind on the specialty records, but I'm catching up. And by All-Star break, we'll be back in business. But he's on a great run, 10-1-1 run.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Alcantara is probably going to have a good start, right? Angels first 5 team total under. I don't know. I kind of don't want to pick first 5 team totals just because so many people can't bet them unless I really have to. Miami first 3 is an obvious kind of decent play, I guess, or Philly -1. But what happened with Philly yesterday though? It's a little bit too obvious, isn't it? Philly -1 against Washington. It's just is Soto going to be out? A little bit too obvious. All right, I guess I got to give an official play here. But first 3s are as tough as first 5 team totals. A lot of people don't have first 3s either. I should probably really stick to first halves and full games. All right, I'll give people are getting annoyed now, I'm sure.
Because he's already on the Marlins, right? That's his
okay. Right. I forgot about that. I mean, that's the ultimate, cop-out play is to give him his own fucking pick. It's like you're a fucking spreadsheet guy asking for a birthday pick. Here you go. All right, you know what? I'll just make it, since I don't really want to give first 3s, I'll give White Sox first 5. I'll make that the official birthday pick. But then I have to make it an official pick for myself too, right, Jim? How does this work?
Well, yeah, I guess so. White Sox first 5, I guess so. If that's not you haven't made. All right,
I'll make that official. I'll double up on it. What the hell? I'm already on first 3 officially.
I guess you don't have to. No, you don't have to do that because you're on the first 3 and you're giving out first 5 in case he doesn't have the first 3 available.
Nah, who gives a shit? Just fucking do it. White Sox first 5. I'm seeing -129 right now at Pinnacle. I'll double up on it. Who cares? I'll double up on it. White Sox first 5 -129. I'll make that the official birthday pick, and it'll also be added to my official slate of plays as well. White Sox first 5 -129. A little contrarian, right? Bounce back for Kopech. Will it happen? If it does, people will be like, man, Loshak really knows what he's talking about. White Sox first 5 -129.
White Sox first 5 -129. Elio has called you the Alan Watts of capping, the philosophical entertainer. I believe that's what they called him.
Do my best. Hell yeah, Elio Rodriguez. Shout out to you.
All right, let's do one final review of all action here on the show. Seattle Mariners play of the day for number 1 for Jose Bouquet. Mariners first 5 +118. We're all over this Marlins spot. MLB spreadsheet play of the day for Ron Crawford. Marlins first 3 -130 for Pete. I'm on the Marlins first 5 -0.5 at +100. Angels first 5 team total under 1.5 for Pete at -135 and no run first inning at -135. We stayed off Mets Reds. Jose Sehe play of the day number 2. Pirates team total over 3.5 at +107. I'd like to get on that 9 if it's available and it's not too juiced. The over 9. Rangers Orioles, we stayed off. Pete's on the Phillies -1 at -112. He's on the Cleveland first 5 team total over 2.5 -105. I'm on the first 5 over 4.5. And I haven't bet it yet. The only bet I've made already is the Marlins game. So these are the ones that I will be adding after the show. Pete's on no run first inning at +106 and Rays Red Sox. And Matty Ice is on the first 5 under 5 at -115. Pete's on the Cards first 3 at +115. Mike M. Pimp Slap play of the day is on the Cards first 5 +0.5. Then I'm adding the Cubs first 5 at even money. Royals, Astros, we stayed off. Pete's on the White Sox first 3 -130 and the White Sox first 5 -129. I'm going to try to go under that 5. First 5 under 5. Oh, Noli knows also on the Rays Red Sox first 5 under 5. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, sorry, Jim.
Yes.
I was spazzing out about the birthday pick before. It didn't process. At the Alan Watts of capping, how the hell does Elio Rodriguez know about Alan Watts? Massive shout out to Elio Rodriguez. Hell yeah, I love Alan Watts. I actually do.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's a nice thing to be said. Nice thing to be named after. Giants, Diamondbacks, we stayed off. Turnsey, Rusty Kuntz, play of the day. Blue Jays, first 5 over 4.5 minus 105. And Rockies, Dodgers, we stayed off. Pete and Teece are both on the first half over 79.5 and Storm Fever. And that, my friends, is today's show. Pete, love working with you on these Tuesdays. We have no show without these great cappers in the chat. Arlen Noli knows the big Ragu. Welcome everybody. Dommy Gun Ricci, Mal, Top Set.
And Terrence McKenna. I love Terrence McKenna. I wonder if Elio Rodriguez likes Terrence McKenna too. Shout out to
Wally, Dav Fenn, Jay Peasy. I'd love to could you play that can you play that song one more time that Jay Peasy rocked for us, our opener?
We'll end it with it.
Sorry?
We'll end with it.
Beautiful. Gary Tenebra, all you guys, thank you so much. Ick Schnizzle, Eddie Euler, all you guys, Real Deal Prime, James Lil, Danzo. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Pete, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
I don't know. You want me to do a Terrence McKenna impression before we sign this shit off?
Very much so.
Philadelphia -1. Their bullpen doesn't matter. They're probably going to win by 5 if they win it all. Philadelphia -1. A good bet today.
I like
beautiful.
You guys have no idea who Terrence McKenna is.
No, I have no idea who it is, but I have something to end with.
Their bullpen doesn't matter.
Well, first of all, Pete, I have a question for you. I have a lot of questions for you, Pete, and I like asking you in a public forum. Pete, what are you doing for Venezuelan Independence Day?
I don't even know. Spazzing out about the birthday pick. That's what I'm going to be doing, all right? Jesus
Pete,
fucking Christ.
Pete, let me give you a suggestion. Why don't you go to Cachapas y Mas? Why don't you go there and enjoy yourself a nice meal today? It's in Brooklyn.
Oh, shit.
You got
in New York, you mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I meant.
I really might do that. Thank you very much. What a great show. What a great group we have here.
Hold on. And I'm not done with you, Jimmy. You're next, too. Jimmy, I mean, you've got a lot of options. You've got a lot of options here in Parkdale. And you talk a lot of shit about it, but the cuisine is up to standard. I will admit.
It's a multicultural community. And, I will say while I'm leaving is that I will miss the Tibetans. If you're in a community, you want as many Tibetans as possible. They add they're kind. They have community dances. They have added so much. Everybody else in this community sucks, but the Tibetans I will miss. Yes, Jose.
Are the pigeons also multicultural, by the way?
No. The pigeons are a lot of inbreeding and just one culture.
Yeah, I know what culture that is. You just had to say inbreeding. That's all you had to say there. But Jimmy, for you, yes. I've got two suggestions for you. Right now, very now, you can take Ella, you can take Sea Dog, and you can take I don't know how to spell her name, unfortunately. But I'm gonna guess P Dog. You can guess her. You can take her. You guys can go to the Arepa Republic. It's open until 7. It's a lovely little spot here. I think you can go there and enjoy yourself a nice meal. I've looked at the menu as well. I've already got it picked out for you. You're gonna go get some empanadas today. Get some cheese empanadas. It's gonna be great. So, and Jimmy, of course, you owe me pictures and videos still. So there's another picture and video you'll owe me.
Perfect. All set up.
There's your homework, Pete. There's your homework too. But the next time I see you, Pete, I better see a picture of you eating Venezuelan food.
Oh, sure. No problem. No problem at all, baby.
You've got a week, Pete. And if you don't do this, Pete, you know what that means? You hate Venezuelan people. That's what that means. So you better get your shit together, Pete. By next Tuesday, I better see it. And Jimmy, you only have 24 hours, so.
All right.
You especially will hate Venezuelan people if you don't go.
I can do this. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Jose, no, come back to us, Jose. On Venezuela Independence Day, can you please let's us into the future, my friend?
Of course. Shout out to Jay Peasy bringing us a lovely booty bop. We're going out on today. A lot of fun facts were learned on this program today, like Venezuela being the first South American country to get independence. Did not know that. You know, Jimmy, I will admit I was expecting a little more Venezuelan facts from you. I will admit that. I was like, maybe like a population, maybe we can compare it to place. I don't know, but it's fine. It's fine. Venezuelan Independence Day only comes once a year. It's okay, guys. Don't worry. But I appreciate you guys for joining me. Pete, you look great today.
Thank you very much.
Your outfit was phenomenal. Jimmy, you did good too. I appreciate you as always for coming out here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Ooh,